information, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flood it from the darknet, flood it from the deep web, keep it a secret. Every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
Here we go. Hello, everyone out there. As you ignore the weird vacuum cleaner behind me, give me a moment because I just want to make sure that our audio is continued to be working. That's going to be a big thing for me this episode. Perfect. Audio works. Yay! As I'm wearing my really impressive Combi Christ shirt. So hi, welcome to the live stream here as our first Incent reward in the corner is going off. You can go to get.incent.com and download the Incent wallet. And it's just a really cool non-scam way of earning free cryptocurrency while you watch. So here comes the QR code as well as the manual code you can put in. And again, that's just a cool thing. But hi everyone out there. Just being confused because we had a little bit of setup time, so we're a little bit over the time that I want to do. Ooh, this episode's going to be, oh boy. Is going to be a thing. And note, this is not sponsored by Brisk. I'm just drinking some. So, hi everyone out there. My name is Sidepocket. That's what people refer to me on the internet. I am one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEFCON 201 or DC 201. We are one of many DEFCON groups throughout the United States and around the world. DEFCON groups are these awesome little computer hacker, tinkerer hangout groups, and we are one of them. We are normally located in New Jersey, specifically Jersey City, New Jersey, and we meet usually third Friday of the month. And now, and this is what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to do like these hybrid in-person online streaming. Or haven't quite got there, but I think in December we're really going to knock it out of the park. You will be able to catch us at that meeting on, oh boy, getting a little gassy, December 17th, so it's not too far away. It's like roughly just under 3 weeks. And if you want to know more stuff about us and how we meet and what we do and everything like that, let me just get rid of this thing over here. You can go to our website, which you can see at the bottom of the stream at defcon201.org, which is made by an awesome dude named Cyril who couldn't be here right now. And we are also all over all sorts of social media. You can find us at DEFCON201NJ on Instagram because they took DEFCON201. We are DEFCON201 and everything else. We're that handle on Instagram, GitHub, the hostducks.social instance of Mastodon. All sorts of stuff. We have a bunch of our social media stuff on the website, but if you really want to be out there, I just posted the link in chat of the entire master list for this. Lastly, we are broadcasting on multiple streams multiple streams right now, including what's happening? For some reason, the internet just went a little wobbly there, so I apologize. Hopefully that will be the only time that happens, because otherwise this should be a very not CPU, not GPU intensive episode. That's really weird. So anyhow, we're streaming from multiple stuff, and if you want to get notification updates as well as just help us out in general, you could follow, share, and subscribe on Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. Those are made chat stuff. When you subscribe to us, we get notifications for them, and we can cheer you on and stuff. We are also streaming on a couple of other things. I'm still working on the PeerTube. I am so sorry. I just got swamped with so much stuff. I'm literally going to finally deal with the PeerTube right after this live stream. So that way, all the future stuff we will be directly streaming from PeerTube. You can also watch us on YouTube through Tor. You can check our .onion. I posted in that social media links there if you want to know more. But in particular, we are also streaming, unfortunately, because there's some people who are stuck on there, on Facebook. And if you are on Facebook, you can chat with us. However, the chat system, because it's Facebook, is incredibly fucked. So, and I have a link where you can go, where you can do and sign up all that chat stuff. Finally, before we get into our actual episode, I want to remind again, I'm going to be reminding throughout this entire episode, like what we've been doing for the past couple of months. And we're going to be doing this all the way up until January 1st, which is we are trying to raise money for charity. Yes, We are trying to raise by the end of the year at least $600 for the Children Miracle Network Hospitals. This is a charity organization that deals with various children's hospitals and pediatric wings and hospitals all across the United States and Canada. Many of these sort of things treat us so. I mean, put it this way: in America alone, because I can't speak for Canada, but in America, there is no health insurance. See my teeth? I have no health insurance. Nobody does. And there's no doctors, and the doctors that are there, or are there's few of them, and there's very few nurses, and the hospitals are understaffed and undersupplied and underpaid. And this was before the COVID pandemic. And with that Transformer Omnicron now going out there, kicking Delta in its butt and taking the sad disease battle royale that's going right now, which Borax is not helping with. That's something I never thought. Borax versus Omnicron. This sounds like the worst Transformers episode. Anyhow, children's and pediatric facilities need even more help than ever, and so we can't think of a better way at DCG 201 to watch us suffer and torture and learn and hack than to help sick kids across the United States and Canada. There are multiple different ways you can donate, and by the way, it's being handled through Tiltify, which is a charity donation service. We don't touch any of this money. This is not like one of those crypto scams where we just pump, dump, and leave. That's not how this works. We are very professional here. Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, you can't donate through cryptocurrencies, but we are going to be looking for stuff like that in the future. Just died. So it's going to be handled through Tiltify. And right now we are at we are almost halfway to our goal, and we just have a little bit of a month left at $269. Nice, with Field Dead being the top donator at $69. Nice. As well as many, many other anonymous donations. And here's the thing, you don't have to donate, even though that would be amazing, like 50, 100, $200. If you donate $1, $3, or $5, all of that always puts this stuff over the edge for our goals. And even if we don't make the $600, all the money that's donated is still going to go to all the hospitals in the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So don't worry about, well, what if I donate and it doesn't work out? It's going to work out. Your money is going to go for a good cause. So there's multiple ways to donate. If you're on Twitch, you can scroll below, and we have a little like widget there for that. If you are on here, I'm still trying to deal with this QR code. And again, I'm going to be doing stuff off the screen because I ran out of time today. But if you're on any other service or you just need something simple, here's the link right there, the Tiltify link directly. I'm going to be posting it throughout this episode. So, welcome to I believe, the 33rd episode of Crypto Barons. I have one of two shows. This is the show that I do every second and fourth Saturday of every month. And it is a show where we look at blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies as technologies. Meaning that, let me give you a bit about why I've made this show. I'm very interested in blockchain technologies and how cryptocurrencies are used. I'm even interested in some of the financial stuff and social stuff. However, cryptocurrency, there's a huge stigma around it. That's the nicest way to put it. And the reason for that stigma is because of all the unscrupulousness. It is a wild, wild west market out there, and there's a lot of bad actors and snake oil salesmen out there. We partly cover that on the show, so we're not here to bullshit anyone. We've had episodes where all we do is pick apart and make fun of tacky, sleazy, snake oily stuff. We've also done episodes highlighting really cool hacker things of like legitimate, amazing cryptocurrencies and the technology behind them. So as I said, we're looking at this as technologies. We get a bit, which we are going to do, a bit of the socials and the economics, but it's mainly like, hey, since most of this cryptocurrency stuff is open source, let's look at the code. Let's see how it's made. What do these weird terms mean? We're going to learn a ton of terms tonight. It's going to my brain. What, do they have a wallet? If they do, can we run it? Is there any cool ways we can hack it? Has this network been hacked? What do people do? That's what we're going to be looking into. And this episode is an episode that I still feel highly underprepared for, if I want to be completely honest. I've been wanting to do this for over a year now. And the reason why I kept putting it off is, I'll put it this way. I do know how to program. I'm extremely rusty, and I'm not the best programmer. That's me being super nice on air. uh, Honestly, I feel like someone just learning programming will probably be able to do better than me. Although I tried those advanced Solidity tutorials before, and outside of a couple of spelling typos, I don't know why my eyes are acting up right now. It's probably I'm like pre-crying to all the terrible math and science I'm about to do and inflict upon myself and to everyone watching here. Um, that what do you call it? I forgot the topic. Anyhow, I've been dreading this episode because again, I'm not the best programmer. But not only have I been wanting to cover this for about a year now, but this is for charity. And so here's what we're going to be looking into. About a year ago, I found this amazing piece of blockchain tech. It's one of the most hacker AF things I have ever seen in my life, and it is called, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Numerai. It's actually kind of clever because it's a combination of number and AI. Numerai. In fact, that I at the end is AI. And what it essentially is, and let me actually bring up my notes real quick so I don't completely screw this up, is Numerai is an Ethereum-based platform, and it allows hackers, developers, and data science to experiment and create machine learning models with improved reliability. Basically, I started in 2015, and what they do is it's a bunch of hackers who they're given a obfuscated data set from real life market stock data, and they take it and then they take their favorite programming languages, frameworks, and techniques, and they build an AI bot, an artificial intelligence program that tries to accurately predict stocks and avoid mistakes. And it's a ginormous battle arena game. There's multiple AIs doing this at the same time. You submit your AI, they make it run through a bunch of the data and the test, and they see how it performs, and then they rank your bot with the other contestants. And if you succeed, and here's the interesting, initially they only paid, ironically enough, with fiat money. Like this was still using blockchain to do the accounts and stuff like that. But originally they did with PayPal. And as me, Cyrusol, and a bunch of other hackers can tell you, PayPal absolutely sucks major ass. If you see a reflection, by the way, that's the little O-ring there. Because right now I don't have a better place to put it. But yeah, PayPal just sucks. It just hugely, it just sucks drywall. It's terrible. So they moved over to Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin inevitably became so slow that even slugs can outrun its transaction gas, as well as its ridiculously high gas fees for how slow it is, um, they moved over to an Ethereum-based thing, and they made up their own coin, which, if I remember correctly, is pronounced it's a Numerai, or NMR as it's listed under the chain. So we're going to look into that today, and I will put it this way: if we get donations, even if it's $1, I will actually attempt to. Well, we're going to attempt to write a test sample script anyhow, but I will actually do a real good college try at programming a bot for this competition. I don't expect to win, but the more donations I get, the more I'm going to stick to it. So I'm just putting that all out there that that's how this episode's going to go. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's go and learn. Let's educate Numerai. And we're going to also be looking at some videos and a lot of website tabs, and we might even load up like VS Codium or something. We're going to see. So anyhow, as we usually do on this episode, here is the landing page. This is, I'm going to put the link again for our donations, by the way. So if you can donate and torture me as I try to program this stuff. This is the website that Cyrusol has made. As you can see, we actually, compared to all the other meetings, we pretty much know exactly what we're going to do with this December meeting. We're actually going to make a post tonight where you all out there can vote and participate. So that way, I know we because there's a thing we're going to be doing with there where we need to know how many people will actually probably go to this meeting in person, and so that's going to help out a lot. And I'm going to post that later tonight after the stream. I don't plan on streaming beyond 10 p.m., but we'll see how it goes. And We're going to be doing a lot of changes to the website. You're going to be seeing we have the past couple of months have really lit a fire under our butts at DCG 201, and because of that fire burning our buttocks away, the future is actually really bright right now, and so we can't wait until like a week or three from now to show you just some of like the cool improvements, the sort of popping out of a cake, we're back baby sort of thing that we're going to be doing. So keep paying attention to this website. Again, you can find it at defcon201.org. I think you can also type in dc201.org and get that. And eventually it'll be dcg201.org in order to get all of that. Oh, by the way, I love chat. If you have any questions about like my weird Jerry curl perm that I'm going on right now, why am I wearing a Commie Christ t-shirt, what these instant rewards are, which is about to pop up, and you'll be able to get some cool cryptocurrency in 30 seconds. Any of the crazy programming or math topics I'm going to be talking about, and there's going to be a lot. I think this is going to be the most amount of programming. This is going to be more programming and math than what I did for the Solidity the zombie video game that we did a couple of episodes ago. This is going to be as much math and stuff as when we did all the security coins and the stuff on the dark net. It's going to be a lot, and that's going to probably be a theme because I'm hoping the next two episodes going into the new year is also going to be very computer intensive, which to me is where we should get $1 or $3 donations just because you're going to just really see me watch torture myself. This is like my version of me at role playing and Commander dying, except I have way worse equipment. But anyhow, but I love talking to chat. So if you have any questions, you can ask in chat. I will be able to ask back, even if you want to chat things out, as long as it's not dumb trollish stuff. If you also are here to just learn about Numerai and all the stuff I can potentially teach, particularly with my feelings, just stay tuned. And as I say, keep lurking and keep learning. Just want to put that out there before we move on. So anyhow, let's go to the Numerai website, which is pretty slick. We're going to log in later. As it says, they pride themselves as being called the hardest data science tournament on the planet. Again, this is the most, even if you remove all the finance stuff from this is literally the most hacker AF thing I can think of, where you're coding, you're getting data science, like scientific data, mathematical data, and you are coding AI bots and teaching them with that data with machine learning to enter a tournament where they compete with the other bots, and then you get cryptocurrency from it. This is hacker AF. And I wish I got a tab open for this. Actually, maybe I'll just open a new tab right now and try to find it, because Numerai was seen as kind of a cute game and something like science fiction-y, except last year we actually had this happen, and it had nothing to do with Numerai whatsoever. As we've probably seen I've reported before, and I'm going to try to bring up an article on this, there was, I think I need to put in the video game retailer that shall not be named, that a okay, let me redo my brain here. So what happened is that at a subreddit forum that deals with the stock market, all the stock hackers on there basically figured out a loophole with a terribly coded and infrastructured app named Robinhood that basically anyone could basically game GameStop stocks, because GameStop is an incredibly shitty retailer company. And what they ended up doing was investing into GameStop, and they even used the cryptocurrency Dogecoin, which is how it truly reached mass appeal, that coin, on Wall Street, on our Wall Street bets. As they called themselves, like 4chan, founded out of Bloomberg Terminal. Has 2 million members, and they post stonks, tips, and news. And basically, they figured out, hey, you could just, anyone can bet on anyone can put stock bets on GameStop through the Robinhood app, and they just flooded GameStop with it, artificially inflating GameStop to be like the biggest corp, and that like killed the stock market temporarily, globally, and especially in the United States. As I said here, before they did this, the share price for GameStop was 4. By Tuesday, it opened at $88 and it jumped to 90% by close. And after hours trading, it jumped to another 50 to over $230. And basically, they did this and with a bunch of other companies, including AMC Theaters, and gamed the entire stock market. So, for all the people out there thinking that this sort of like stock market tournament thing, this fake stock market tournament arena, is just a bunch of dorks just being dorks, you are correct, but this actually has real world implications. And I just love that Reddit forum did that, not even knowing what Numerai was. Maybe some of the people on there play Numerai and that's how they were trained enough to figure out the loophole. But I'm just saying that I think more eyes should be on Numerai, not only just because it's a cool, let me zoom in a bit more, a cool crazy hacker project, but also the fact that um, we've actually seen people do this in real life. It's just ironically, those were just normal people using their big brains. This is AI, and considering how fast programs and artificial intelligence do all this stuff, this can get way worse. And so, as I say here, what you do is you sign up for it, and then you download the hedge fund data. And apparently it's based on real data from the stock market. But they've basically the data set, they have switch rated the companies, and they've also made adjustments to some of like the prices and other pieces of data, so that way you can't guess or know who the actual companies are. But these are, it's like based on a true story when you see that on like a movie. These are allegedly based after the actual stock market data, which is interesting because they normally hide that data with all their life, because obviously if someone knew that, they would cause more havoc. And you saw just with GameStop how much the stock market died. Now imagine if someone knew all the data of the stock market and made hacks like that. You would have like a literal a lame version of a James Bond plot, except without all of the British sexism, racism, and pew pews, which basically oh, that would be interesting. James Bond fighting a bunch of turfs. That's something to think about. Anyhow, so you download the data set, and then you take your favorite programming language. This is an example one over here on the right. And you build models using Python, using the example Python and R scripts. From what I heard, if you're good enough, you can actually almost use any, if I remember correctly, I think you can use almost any programming languages. It's just because Python is, I don't know why they're using R, but Python is so popular that's why they're using it as a base. And we are going to look at some of those example scripts. We might even take some, modify one, and send one out. Then you submit your predictions uh, to the capital of the Numerai hedge fund. And by doing that, you build up your reputation, and that places you on the leaderboard. And when you post on the leaderboard, you auto stake in the blockchain, the Numerati cryptocurrency you earn if you do. Oh, that's the video I was looking for. If you do well, I'm actually going to load this in a different tab. Why did I not see this before? If you do well, you will. And by the way, if it dips in and out, I'm going to pause this video if it auto plays. There should be a download option. My interest is downloading this video because that's what I do. That's what I do here. Is I'm going to download it if I'm allowed to. So let's see which one. I don't need to do the highest quality. I'll just do that. Yay. Save. And that's see, I didn't know. I was looking for an intro video on their YouTube and I couldn't find it, and I just didn't scroll down far enough, I guess, because I did look at this page, but I completely forgot this was here. But anyhow, that's kind of and oh, but sorry. So it stakes the coin, and if your bot does well, it will allow the mining process to continue. It might even bump you up on the rate. If you do poorly, it blocks your stake, so you don't earn those coins, and that's how you earn back. And of course, you can take Numerai, the coin that Numerai produces on its blockchain, and then if I don't know if you can change that. I think you can change that into money because they're actual exchanges. I know you can exchange it for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin you can exchange for fiat, but at least this is like tokens, at least for bragging rights at worst. At best, it actually, you might be able to make a decent amount of coin out of this. Again, imagine basically this is like a casino but for like nerds, That's kind of what's going on here. And just because I didn't know there was that intro video, I'm actually going to copy pasta that video over. Why did this go full screen? I have no idea. Oh, it's because I am in full screen mode. Hang on. Cut. And this is, you're only seeing the browser window, so you're not seeing me like go through all of these different like crazy windows and right clicking and stuff like that. All right, so introduction. All right, because I am going to be rotating through different videos here, just FYI. And now I can kill this thing over here. Okay, so because I flubbed that, normally I play the video first and then I explain myself, but because now I found the actual goddamn video for all of this, we're going to go in and we're actually going to watch this video for the introduction here. So let me find it. And this is always important because as I've had people say, because a lot of people ask me like, why do I like go to the websites and we watch this bad corporate stuff, especially when we're doing scams and bad mojo on purpose. And it covers two things. One is that it's good recon overall. The two things you get from it, and that's the two good things, is that one, you get to see how it's potentially perceived. Sorry, you get to see how they're trying to pitch the thing to you, and B, it shows you how they see themselves. It's the same reason why, even when it's a scam, I always go to the original website as safely as possible, because um, I want to see how they portray themselves that way. Because we did this, for example, with the Brave browser, where we've caught them in their own lies, things like that. By the way, while my brain's thinking of it, episode you should look out for. So again, I do this show the second and fourth Saturday of every month. In January 2022, I know I can't believe it's 2022 because I honestly think 2020 basically didn't exist and 2021 almost didn't exist. It's just been it's like things are back to normal, but not really. There's no real normal. It's kind of like 9/11. It's how do you go back to normal after 9/11? You don't. I'm still not back to normal after 9/11. That's what's kind of going on with the whole plague. But so we do the second. So the funny thing is that New Year's Day is on a Saturday, so that episode comes up really goddamn quick. So on January 8th will be the first Crypto Barons of the new year, and I have a special planned where all the things that went wrong on previous episodes, where a program crash or stream crash or whatever, I'm going to use that episode as a whoopsie daisy makeup episode to show these programs running. And two off the top of my head is we're finally going to be able to show the end result of coding an NFT. And we are also going to, I know we're doing we're supposed to do the pink coin this month, but worst comes to worst, we'll do the pink coin that month. Might go back to Gridcoin. I am definitely going to, what was the big train wreck one the Utopia, because I found out the Linux version is incredibly broken and it basically only runs in Windows. So basically that's going to be a makeup of like, hi, here are all the mistakes that we did, and then we're going to go into completely new topics. I just want to put that out. And once again, we are trying to raise money, even if it's post this episode for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, where we get to help out. We get to distribute money to hospitals all across the United States and Canada to help sick kids. And again, things were really bad with pediatric hospitals and wings before. Hi, Dr. Practice. Before nice that you're in here. Before the pandemic, it's even worse during it. So whether you're on Twitch and you see our widget at the bottom, whether you scan that QR code that I'm still working out the details on, or you click the link in the chat, even if it's only $1 or $3, it all goes helping sick kids across the United States and Canada, and it's held through Tiltify. We're doing a really professional operation as the new Incent reward pops up in 10 seconds where you earn some crypto back. Unfortunately, you can't donate in cryptocurrency, but I'm trying to figure a loophole for that for future stuff. We'll see how it goes. And again, even if we don't meet the $600 goal by January 1st, all the money's still going to be donated to kids across the United States. So, and again, even if you donate $1 on here, I'm going to keep programming. Because I'm gonna hate doing this. Like you're gonna see me turn into a caveman, and I'm trying to rub like a cold rock against a hard rock together. It's gonna be nuts. I already posted the link in chat, but I will post it again. And we're gonna be doing this until January 1st. So literally, into the new year is when we will freeze the donations. We're actually trying to do a New Year's stream, either the evening day of or the night into, and then that's all that money will go to all the sick kids. Anyhow, enough of me blabbing, and I blabbed long enough that you probably forgot me explaining what Numerai was, so I'm going to put on the headphones, and we're going to watch this introduction to Numerai done by the Numerai Foundation, and hear them explain their crazy AI bot hedge fund tournament. So here we go.
Network effect is a phenomenon where a service becomes more valuable when more people use it.
Until today, those rails which once bravely spanned the mountain have become an interlocking network, binding together the far west, the southwest, and the south, linking them in turn with the mid-continent, and through many connecting lines, hauling traffic across the nation.
We are seeing technology-driven networks replace bureaucratic hierarchies. And we think we are just at the very beginning of this trend.
People who are creating the content are also the same people who are consuming the content.
You are a node on the network. And that's really, really important.
In 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto created an amazing new protocol called Bitcoin, and this invention makes amazingly powerful incentive structures that cost a huge network of miners to come together and provide value. Anyone who holds Bitcoin has a strong incentive to make the network better.
And so Bitcoin's hash power is larger than like the top 100 supercomputers combined.
And so when you think about applying this to the finance markets, where you have massive hedge funds that are fighting against each other.
No one really works together in finance. It's very competitive, it's adversarial, there's no collaboration.
And so Numerai can transition this negative competition space into highly valuable collaboration.
And so today Numerai is releasing a brand new cryptocurrency on the Ethereum blockchain. And there's no hedge fund with network effects, so we're going to try to be the first one.
Everyone should just come together to one thing and create a ton of value together.
Okay, so what makes me laugh about that video the most is, never mind its whole... First of all, you're starting to notice this pattern with a lot of these like cryptocurrency stuff where very few of them look like boring super professional. Like even the professional ones, yeah, they all have that 80s vaporwave cyberpunk thing. Like literally that was like music. That music was more the Matrix, the new Matrix Resurrection trailer remix of the White Rabbit. Like that was some like Cyberpunk 2077 DLC sort of crap. Like I'm literally about actually... To show you what I mean, hang on, I'm going to get this. We're going to see that part of that trailer again, just because I'm trying to delay, and excuse my gray sweatpants. We're trying to delay the inevitable here with me badly coding on the stream, even though I'm pretty sure that's what everyone wants to see. So if I'm able to find this, and actually, I don't think it's in these. No, it's not in here. Let me grab these. I'll be right back. Believe it or not, they're in my hallway. I haven't been abducted. I think I'm just grabbing what I think is here. Should have been here. Hold on. Oh, come on. I know you are somewhere. Why can't I find these now? Hang on. Oh, here they are. I'm an idiot. They're right here. Like, we're gonna watch part of that trailer, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by this. Okay? Are we ready for this? And by the way, I think that video is old. It's not even like. Whoop. That wasn't an earthquake. That was me accidentally kneeing the computer station because I'm dumb. But no, it's like, because I think that video, because this project started in 2015, I think it's from 2017. So it's not even like recent. So that was just them being a bunch of goddamn financial dorks being computer dorks. Like here's how I felt with that video and its music. Are you ready for this? Let's play that again. Just the first part.
Network effect is a phenomenon where a service becomes more valuable when more people use it.
Until today, those rails which once bravely spanned the mountain have become an interlocking network, binding together the far west, the southwest, and the south, linking them in turn with the mid-continent, and through many connecting lines, hauling traffic across
We
the
are
nation.
seeing technology-driven networks replace bureaucratic hierarchies. And we think we are just at the very beginning of this trend.
People who are creating the content are also the same people who are consuming the content.
You are a node on the network. And that's really, really important.
Have become an interlocking network, binding together the far west, the southwest, and the south, linking them in turn with the mid-continent, and through many connecting lines, hauling traffic across
We
the
are
nation.
seeing technology-driven networks replace bureaucratic hierarchies. And we think we are just at the very beginning of this trend.
People who are creating the content are also the same people who are consuming the content.
I think you all get the joke. I almost want to do this the entire episode. You know what? Screw it. I don't need glasses for this. At least I think. I'll see how far we can do dressed like this. Who knows? We might even get more viewers on this. I'm just glad that you're here, Dr. Praxis. Ah, boy. So that was, and again, that I believe that video was from at least 3 or 4 years ago. So this is just them being dorks and trying to be like all underground looking, like the way I look right now, this is literally how I go out to clubs and stuff. Like I dressed like this before even the first Matrix movie came out. It's just a thing. Like I was born looking like this. But it's like that they're trying to be all like underground cyberpunk cool when all of them wear like tweed sweaters and have sex in missionary position and crap like that. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, no, I had a kerfuffle, so I did not have the ability to go on to minds.com today to announce that we were doing this live stream. After this stream, I'm going to log into Minds and post the after video, like when this is all recorded. I'm going to post the video to that so you can watch it on Minds and be like, hey, sorry, we couldn't reach out because Minds was doing an update thing, so I couldn't properly log in, and that the next Crypto Barons, which again, second and fourth Saturday of the month, so that will be December 11th. You'll see us back. And me, the goal is the next episode is even going to be. It's not going to be probably as programming intensive as this, but it is going to be a big pain in the ass. So that's what we're going to kind of be doing. Anyhow, so that's how they portrayed themselves. So you can kind of see like how they want to be portrayed, like how they want people to think they are, and probably how they view themselves versus what we're going to kind of see what they are. And again, I'm not saying, I mean, it is kind of cringy, to be honest. And I hate using that term cringe, but I think it's a little bit warranted because, again, Numerai is this is the most hacker thing I've heard with blockchain technology and using cryptocurrencies since Gitcoin and Mimblewimble, where, again, and let's actually go back to the browser. Let me see what the browser is. There it is. Where it's literally an AI bot tournament. They're given a data set. We're going to attempt to do this later. We're going to try to download this data set. And I think you can use almost any programming language, but you're mainly using, they said, Python and R. And you're building this bot from a framework. And then you're using machine learning techniques for the AI when studying the data, which is based off of the real stock market, on like how to trade funds and how to find loopholes. So it's a bunch of hackers training AI to battle each other in the stonks market, a fake stonks market that's based after the real one, and you earn cryptocurrency. Like I can't think of a more this thing than that. So maybe they're on to something. Praxis, oh cool, I just saw you went over NFTs. I've been wanting to turn. Oh cool, so my photography. I might revisit the NFT one in the future. I will say, like I said earlier, the first January one, which I think is on the 7th or 8th next year, that is January 8th. All the stuff that failed in all the previous episodes, almost all of them, for Crypto Barons, I'm going to be doing because I got them to work. Like, you're going to see me properly open the IPFS for Mazda Coin because I actually already did it. You're going to see me do the NFT entirely through code with Minty. You're going to see maybe me doing the pin coin. You're just going to see a bunch of things that I never got working on previous episodes that I got working now. Archive I just happened to change. Oh, cool. Cool. Message me later or message us later. You can also email us at info@defcon21.org or DM us on social media or comment on mine's your new Twitch name and we'll go follow it. It's cool. Nice to know about that information. So let's going back into me torturing myself. So again, as they say here, you sign up, and we are going to log in later. This is so weird to see with the shades. Like in movies, they always show hackers programming with like shades, and it's like unless the monitor's like insanely bright, like it's brighter than this O-ring, it's like why? Because like I can mostly see things, but you notice how uncool I look. Like every time I read, I'm like I'm like a 90-year-old man. So you download the data that's obfuscated, meaning they just change some of the data so that it's like when you say something that's obfuscated, it's like that show warning on the show Law and Order where they're like, note some names, places, locations, and events were changed to protect the innocent. That's what that is. They're taking the actual data that if it actually came out with companies, they would all shit themselves because they would realize that every single corporation is basically Jeff Bezos plus what was that guy? A terrible guy's name. Jeff Bezos plus Enron divided by Epstein, and that's like every company out there. That's why they don't want you to see that data, but it's based on that data. So you get that data set, and then you code the bot. Especially you can, if you don't know of any, if you can't code from scratch, they have coding examples. We're going to look at a bunch of them later. They have a little bit of an example over here, and you're building it mainly in Python and R scripts. Although I heard you can actually use other programming languages, but regardless, you build this bot, and then you have it. You use machine learning techniques to learn from this data set, and then you send out it and its results into the wild, and the people look over it and stuff. It performs, people see how well it does, and if you are, the more accurate you are, the higher your stake is in the cryptocurrency that you get, which is Numerai, which I think you can then trade for other cryptocurrencies or fiat. If you suck, it limits the amount, and so that's how the staking works. It's not real time staking, it's dynamic based on your performance. So you literally, it's almost like proof of code or proof of brain, where even though it's a proof of stake technically, your output is entirely determined by the results of your bot, aka how good your programming skills, math skills, and just overall braininess is as the new instant code pops up. So this seems to have a lot of moving parts, and of course it really does have a lot of moving parts. So let's see what makes up this whole thing. So we're going to get back to this in a moment. There's multiple things that make this up. Again, originally they actually paid out in fiat money. They used PayPal, but as any hacker can tell you, not even as a political thing, just through their infrastructure, because I used to have it and I hate it. PayPal sucks ass. It just does. Nothing ever works. And then they switched over to Bitcoin, which you saw in that video. That's why that's an older video. It's probably from 2016 or something. It feels like a million years ago. And so what they ended up doing was they moved everything over to Ethereum, because not only could they create their own token, which is the Numerai coin, but what they were able to do is also use blockchain in order to do the actual tournament. And in fact, we can take a quick look at Numerai itself. So as you can see, it's extremely stable. Like, you would think at $39.34 now, with an up on 2.67, 2 points away from 69 percent, you would think Numerai was being talked about, NMR, like the way, like that should be up there with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Monero. But I guess because unlike those, this is like too brainy. This is too hackerish. It's not enough Elon Musk hedge fund, elitist bullcrap. No one talks about it as much, even though this is doing better than even most like. I'll put it this way: this is doing better than Facebook's Libra. Okay, that's how stable this is. So, as I said, this is the actual cryptocurrency part. And you can see it's pretty healthy. You can even see it sort of dipped down, which, most coins wish they could have had a dip, that they wish they could go from $40 to $39. Like, that's pretty healthy, even for a dip down. And it shot up. At its peak today, it was at $4.31. And then it seems to constantly hover between $40 $39. It's super, super stable. It's even more stable than like actual, a lot of like, what do they call it? A lot of centralized coins are. This is the number value today is $39.23 with a 24-hour trading window trading volume of 13 million, over 13 million in USD. Pretty cool. So what are the components that are made out of this? Well, as I said before, you do download a data set, which we are going to look at later and see, there it is. Actually, it's a zip file. We're going to look at that later on. But here are some other things that it uses. A big thing it uses is erasure. This is how it does its staking system, both for the tournament itself as well as the rewards for the accounts that run the bots. We're going to read a bit here. Let's see. In the real world, producing anything has a cost. This is not true on the internet, where contributing information and commentary is completely free. This has been a great for bootstrapping, giving billions of people a platform. Unfortunately, many online services suffer because of this zero barrier in participation. There is no cost to misbehavior like false information, spam, trolling, and bot armies, which cost only one click. Looking at you, Twitter. But what happens if you were able to attach a small amount of money to your online interactions, and then the person you were interacting with was, for a period of time, allowed to destroy your staked money? First of all, I can imagine if this was hacked, this would be amazing calamity. But let's continue on. A stranger might now not be more willing to pay attention and trust you because you have skin in the game. Erasure is a live protocol on the Ethereum blockchain that allows the staking mechanism to be adapted across the web. Initially developed to crowdsource intelligence for the Numerai hedge fund, is now open to be used on any platform. Creating instant trust with perfect strangers opens a surprising array of new possibilities. I love all this art. Again, this continues the whole cyberpunk looking crazy shit they're going for. So the three things that it is now, we're going to look at them, is Numerai itself. There's also what's called the Erasure Bay, which is a marketplace for this sort of information. So basically, any piece of information you see on Numerai, you can source it on the Erasure Bay platform, and it has information like predictions, secret whistleblowers, recommendations, and you can track the staking. And then there's the new thing that they've done that we're going to look in a bit, which is Numerai Signals. And basically, they kind of re-overhauled the tournament system using that. Only see what is real. You take the red pill. So anyhow, don't take the red pill. Those assholes are annoying on Reddit. As I say, making a Twitter account doesn't cost anything, nor does making 10,000. Erasure Protocol can create a browser extension. Can be used to create a browser extension, for example, that hides all tweets, Reddit posts, and emails that aren't staked with normal amount of currency. Spam bot armies would suddenly become prohibitively expensive. So essentially, they're trying to use capitalism their way out of a problem, even more so than our supposed capitalist systems do. Again, not only cyberpunk using an old, outdated flip phone, but, Japanese aesthetic. Weebs much? Really great artwork, by the way, but weebs much. So essentially what the Erasure Protocol does, and we're going to look at its code right now, is this is the system that determines how well you do in the game, Numerai, and it's, look at Nintendo, and Sega, and Lego. I'm just seeing Easter eggs everywhere. And the payout. So basically, yes, I love it too. It's just, this is so over the top, just like the way I'm dressed like now. I should dress like this either on our New Year's thing or the December thing, one of those things. But anyhow, I'm just wearing this because that was so this is like so Matrixy. I've decided I'm just going to keep wearing this. Love that much of cyberpunk. They thought Japan would take over the world. Yes. Well, real quick, what a lot of people don't get about cyberpunk is that you're taking all of the current technology now and how it's used, and the potential misuse of it, both like socially, politically, and technologically, and then you write that future. So most cyberpunk stories were written in the 80s. So back then, Japan was becoming a huge industrial powerhouse, and also weebs. People wrote like these sprawling Japanese cities. Now, as you can see, post 2001, China is now the big industrial and financial commerce place in the world, which is why, if you notice, a lot of modern cyberpunk that's being made, and even post-cyberpunk, has a Chinese theme to it. In fact, you could argue that even the sequel to Neuromancer Count Zero kind of beat them to it because they actually moved over to China in that film. That would probably be easier to adapt than Neuromancer just in terms of that aesthetic. Like, if you really had to do cyberpunk today, which we are living in that cyberpunk future, you'd have to look at today's powerhouses, and it'd probably be a mix between like the global capital stuff here, like Facebook and everything. I mean, shit, they're making the metaverse the fucking thing from Snow Crash, except worse. That meme of they shouldn't have made it, but they made it anyhow because they didn't get the point because they're evil assholes. It's a combination of that, China, and like Saudi Arabia. That's what you would probably see. But anyhow, so this is the way the whole tournament system works. So when your bots do good or bad, it adjusts the staking on your account, and you can either get more or less coins because it adjusts the staking protocol. And they've opened this for people to use, which is why we're going to look at the code now, for people to use on their own projects, like if they're making a social media platform or something. So it says here, the Erasure protocol is built on 3 primitives of an economic relationship: track record, payment, and resource. You track records through posts and feeds, payments through any cryptocurrency, and recourse through griefing. So it's built-in griefing. This is erasure underscore points keeps tracks of the hash and timestamps of all the data submitted to the protocol. This serves as a proof of existence. Man, isn't that what transgender people go through? Like transgender people and indigenous Americans, that's their thing. Fuck blockchain. They are the OG proof of existence. Oh Lord. Okay, I'll check that link in a moment there, Dr. Praxis, and hopefully it's not like Goatsy or something. This serves, proof of existence on which a track record can be built. Creating a post instance is as simple as submitting a hash on your data. If you want to know about hashes and stuff, look at our early episodes, including our first episode. To your feed smart contract. Again, we did this with Solidity like 2 episodes ago. At first, the data is hidden, but it can be publicly revealed at a later point by uploading to a decentralized storage, for example. A feed then allows the user to establish credibility through ordered history of post submissions. Since these posts are in a single append-owned array, it is not possible to erase or reorder them once submitted. So it's kind of like Twitter without the delete button. It's like the overall internet. Once you post it, you're dead. The internet remembers everything. Especially with archive.org, it remembers everything. A single post works great for one-time submissions, blah, blah, blah. The hash which is submitted to Erasure is called a proof hash. A proof hash should be generated by taking here it goes again, our favorite numbers, SHA 256 hash of the submitted data perpend with the user address and user-generated salt to avoid potential impersonation or snooping attacks. I'm pretty sure this is all the base stuff because while salting your hashes, just like salting your potatoes, is a good idea, you'd probably want to add more security measures such as like inbuilt 2-factor authentication, tokenization systems, things like that, in order to increase the security on it. Even though, again, SHA 256 is like, it's not nothing, but that's so standard everywhere. SHA has been broken down and hacked in before. You might either want to bump it to like a 5112 or bigger, or just add more. Security is all about layers. And then, as it says here, the Erasure protocol is designed with Ethereum native cryptocurrencies such as ETH, WBTC, and NMR. MNR being the Numerai coin. Within its programmable escrow smart contracts. So that is through the payments with that. And then resource to grifting, recourse. Recourse is archived when a party is punished for wrongdoing. In the world of Erasure, this translates to directly staking and burning. When 2 parties decide to engage, they begin to stake NMR and agree on set of conditions for punishments. So that's built into the smart contract itself. Call this combination of skin in the game and rules of engagement in Erasure agreements. The first type of agreement on Erasure is called griefing. Griefing allows a party to come to a resolution without a third-party arbiter through punishing their counterparty at a cost. This is actually kind of a little bit suspicious because that might translate into, if you don't code this correctly, that essentially the big dogs centralize all their power because they'd be the only. It's just like in real life where you probably see white-collar criminals get arrested and then immediately released on bail because, $1 million is a literally a drop in the bucket of them, meaning only the upper 1% can afford to get out of all of this. So you might have a bad actor who's like high on the leaderboards, and no matter, even if the rest of the network taxes him, he might have so much clout and money if you program this wrong, coins, I should say, cryptocurrency, that he can easily buy his way out and thus just keep grifting you. Being awful. As I said, this is kind of a way they're trying to capitalism, even though this has been successful, probably because it's on a small scale, they're trying to capitalism their way out of a problem. They said, take example for an agreement between our two favorite people on the show, Alice and Bob. To the point where I think instead of saying ladies and gentlemen out there, I'm just going to call you all. I originally said Genesis, was it Genesis blocks and something else? I think I'm just going to call you all Alice and Bobs on the show. The same way I say key pins and driver pins on Master of Unlocking, I'm just going to refer everyone from now on as Alice and Bobs. Alice is anonymous, as she should be, and has not built a track record. She stakes 500 Numerai and selects a ratio of 0.5. Bob, however, has revealed his real-world identity and has an excellent track record. As a result, he stakes 100 NMR and selects a ratio of 0.1. Please note the punishments are paid by pre-committed NMR stakes at the cost paid, blah, blah, blah. So, as you can see here, if Alice stakes at 500 and she does 0.5, she's at 0, that's Bob. Then we have the 500 to Alice and 100 to Bob. Bob pays 5 NMR to punish Alice for 10 NMR, so she bumps down to 490 because he did the 10 NMR and he paid NMR, so a total of 15. And he does have a reduced stake, but Alice then pays the NMR to punish Bob for the 10 NMR, so she gets bumped down to 490, and so they're both 10 down. Griefing avoids relying on a centralized oracle or a trusted third party to perform arbitrations over terms of agreement. Instead, allows parties to come to a resolution on their own. I think the only reason why you don't see this implemented on something like Twitter or something is because you have so many users who would be so petty and game this so fast that it would go more out of control than what Twitter normally is, anyhow. As new techniques are for a resolution like decentralizing oracles are built on Ethereum, it'll be possible to add them to the set if you raise your agreements. So then you have the architecture here. Let's see what we have here. We have erase your agreements, erase your posts, erase your users, and erase your escrows. And so they're using the spawner library. Each item on erasure is created as a clone of a previously deployed template. So they call these clone factories. Oh god, they're making clone troopers, fucking Confederacy of Intergalactic Systems. They're dumb battle droids. If you're a dork, you won't get it. Every clone is also registered. Attack of the Clones, you could say. Is also registered in a registry. That was a redundant sentence. They're also in a registry. Registered in a registry. That sounds like when you say ATM machine. That's just, it just doesn't roll off the tongue well. Which provides a single source of truth on the status of the protocol. So here's this crazy graph that I'm going to zoom in on. So this is the, let's scroll up here. This is the clone factory. So you have one instance registry here, and then you have the clone factory underneath it. There's a template and instances, and the instances are all modular. Then you have another clone factory that just houses all the griefing and griefing template and its instances, which are modular. And then another clone factory that's a template and instances. So you just have templates and instances under clone factories under the registry. Single source of truth, which I'm pretty sure if I wanted to attack something, I would either slowly influence through the instances, which because they're modular, or just go directly to the source, shoot the moon, and try to hack the actual instance registry. So let's see. Example uses the Razor client, all this crazy stuff for the posts, where you create feed and raw data, and it computes all the hashes. And then you like sell a post because you're using your own crypto in order to put that out there. You could also deploy contracts, and there's multiple packages. So that's all the stuff for erasure. I just want to look at other things. I love when they break down, provided it's accurate in here. Let's zoom out. Let's see, is there any code in here? Here it is. So it's half JavaScript and half Solidity, which I was expected. There's also a part of HTML, which I'm pretty sure is the GUI interface. TypeScript binding it together. Python probably doing the execution of background stuff. There's a Docker file, which I guess is how they're embedding into the system. And then random other. See if we can look in here. Let's see what the contracts look like. This is probably the Solidity section. So let's look at the agreements. Yep, they're all Solidity, just like I thought. Let's look at some of the grifting here. Let's see with. I hope everyone can read this. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. So we announced what version of Solidity it in. They made a solid one. They didn't do like a range of them. You're importing safe math. Okay, that's one way to like kind of truncate this. So we're importing a bunch of modules. They're probably all nested in here. This agreement template allows a staker to, I must write that, stalker, to grant permissions to a counterparty to punish and reward. Because I'm not using the bottom, I mean, I could do that. Note is always possible for a staker to increase their stake again. Using 256 as a unit. Data, and we have a struct here, and then the event, which is its initiation event to do the griefing. I will say I do like how documented this is. This is very easy to read, in my opinion, and multiple address units. And I love there's like literally documentation for every line or every like 3 to 5 line chunk. That's really good. That allows it to, you know, it's like a bouncing ball thing in a music in a kid's sing along music video. It allows you to follow along more easy because again, if you don't do your documentation in the code and then you inevitably abandon the project and other people want to keep using it or continuing it, they won't be able to because you didn't provide them any instructions because all the instructions was in your stupid head. Let's see, we have the Python client. Oh, so it's a client in of itself. Oh, okay, so that's like I guess the HTML is the actual GUI interface, and then the Python wraps it, I guess, instead of using like Electron, because here's the make file here, where once you CMake and make this, you can then run the setup py to launch the rest of the interface, and it's a Web3. So let's see, it's Python packages. See what the test looks like. There's no grifting one, so let's go into escrows. JavaScript. This is where it seems like all the JavaScript is within the this section. That's a lot of JavaScript. This is it basically telling what the blockchain is, all the modules it's going to need to interface with the actual smart contract for each section of it. And good old yarn. So yeah, that's the erasure protocol that again that Numerai uses. Once you create the AI and you're actually on the blockchain network, aka in the tournament, when your bot does well, it rewards and increases your staking. When it doesn't do well, you're punished for it. And so even though it is a proof of stake system, it's not the usual where you store the coins away and add time to it, it just automatically grows. Your bot actually has to perform well, or you don't have to be a dickhead on their form or whatever in order to make this stuff work. I look so much like a hilarious tool. I think I'm going to start dressing like this on the stream. I look like a Matrix version of Dr. Disrespect. So, as I listed, there's other things that Numerai uses, and related to Erasure is Erasure Bay, not related to the Pirate Bay or the Michael Bay. Although I'm pretty sure they were probably going for Pirate Bay vibes, to be honest. And what you could do is you can lock a cryptocurrency reward. Anyone can respond. You can destroy their stake if you don't get what you want. This is basically the betting section of Numerai here. So you can look up a cryptocurrency world. Reward, I mean. Anyone in the world can fulfill it. They must stake cryptocurrency, upload a file containing the requested information, and you can release the reward for it if it was satisfied in case the program did well. If it was a problem, you'd be able to destroy it if they were dissatisfied. And it's entirely decentralized, encrypted, and as I said, unstoppable. And all requests are publicly tweeted. So there is a Twitter that you can follow. I'm going to post the link in the chat. Where you can go check out Erasure Bay. And because I did that, I'm also going to put the link once again, just to remind everyone, we are trying to raise by the end of this year, so by July, wow, that would be a while, I confused my 3J months. Up until January 1st, we are trying to raise at least $600 to help sick children in pediatric hospitals and wings of children's wings of hospitals across the United States and Canada through the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. There's multiple ways to donate, even if it's just $1 or $5. That's a huge way to go with fiat money. If you're on Twitch, you can scroll below and there's a little widget. that you can enter in and check things out. If you are a sorry, just blanked out. If you are a you can also scan the QR code, and like I just did I'm going to do in a moment. Here it is. I just posted the link to where you can directly donate. And when you donate, even more than when you follow us on Twitch Live or YouTube, I super cheer you on. Again, thank you, Field Den, on the Master of Unlocking stream previously, I believe. No, it was a Crypto Barons, our previous Crypto Barons episode, for donating $69. Nice! As well as a bunch of other money that's bumped up currently for $269. Nice! To our over $600 goal, which means we are literally about roughly $31 to halfway to our goal already in basically a month and a half, and I'm hoping by January 1st we're able to do that. Samurai Wusin, more like a cross of disrespect and simple flips. Hopefully my careers are not up in smokes as Dr. Disrespected's simpler flips. So cross your fingers on that one, folks. Cross your fingers that my career on live streaming here, even though we're not directly making money off this, we might be indirectly making money off of this very soon. Because I said we are doing a bunch of different upgrades and stuff. Oh, it just got forwarded to Imager because I'm checking out that link someone sent in chat. It hasn't fully loaded. So either they put the URL in wrong, or I'm protected from Goatsy. I have my Goatsy insurance. So either one. But that was Erasure Bay. And then the next one, which we have a video for, is the new thing they've updated. So I believe the updates went, so for initially they did, it was the same type of system, but they rewarded stuff in PayPal. They weren't on a block. I think they were using the blockchain for the accounts, but they weren't using it for the payout. So they were using fiat money to reward. This became tedious. They moved over to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, we've talked about before. I plan on doing an episode, might be in December, might be in January, where I'm finally going to go over Bitcoin and talk about how it started, where it is, all the 8 million variants and all the problems. But we've talked bits about the problems where it was, it's super slow, it's super public, there's nothing secure really about it. There's so many, there's so few nodes because the price keeps going up that basically it's not even really decentralized anymore. Numerai probably went the same problem, so they switched over to Ethereum and our ERC20 token that they've made called Numerai that uses this sort of flexible payment punishment staking system called Erasure, including the Erasure Bay, in order to monitor this. And then the newest update they did was this whole thing called Signals, which is their new way of actually, like, this is the tournament part of the whole thing. And so while I try to load the new picture in chat, which is probably Goatsy, there is a video, as you can see embedded in the website, that we're going to watch right now. So let's hear Numerai them explain Numerai Signals, not to be confused with Signal, the now semi-private encrypted messenger you can get for iOS and Android. But let's look at Numerai's version of Signals instead, unrelated again. Load the video. Sorry, give it one moment. I clicked on the wrong thing. Properties. It's floating around here. It's really hard to see with these shades. I might temporarily switch to the glasses and then go back to the shades when we do some more stupid crap. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Numerai, tell us what these signals are. Give me a signal, Prodigy song.
There are too many hedge funds.
What?
All working in
Vader
secrecy.
talking to me?
The result is an endless duplication of research. This lack of originality.
I'm going to start that again because not only did it warp my... this is why I usually do the videos separate, but I'm being cheap this episode. Not only did it warp the vision thing, and I'm going to do it, but like I wasn't expecting like Mr. Robot Season 5, The Return, to start talking to me. So let's restart that video again, because man, I didn't realize, like, I knew Numerai exists, I've seen their websites, but I love, because their websites all look business professional. Even the Erasure Bay looks like kind of like cool lounge business professional. All their promo videos so far are like Matrix fan films. Like, this is crazy. It's like such a total difference. It's like they're like basically like Microsoft in the streets and like clown sex in the clown sec, not sex, clown sec. I'm sorry. They're Microsoft in the streets and ransomware in the sheets. This is pretty nuts right here. Yeah, me too. I would do that if there was like 20 years later and they don't do the same dumb stuff that they do with remakes and nostalgia trips now. But and only if Sam, they feel like it. Because fun thing with this getup, if you ever see Mr. Robot, as I keep bragging about this, watch the season 3 premiere. Go to where they go to the hackerspace. I make a bunch of cameos in it. I'm actually in the Mr. Robot season 3 premiere. You can go check that out. But before you do, let's watch Cyberpunk video, The Matrix Resurrections trailer 2 about Numerai signals.
There are too many hedge funds, all working in secrecy. The result is an endless duplication of research. This lack of originality leads to correlated and uninspired performance. Outsiders with original trading signals are stifled by high barriers to entry. Numerai is now the first hedge fund to source original stock market signals built from any data set from anyone in the world with zero barriers. Submit a signal and get immediate feedback on its originality. Stake your submission with the NMR cryptocurrency and get paid for the quality and originality of your signal. The world needs exactly one hedge fund, with every signal in the world.
So, whoa, that was like a drone strike at the end. What the fuck? Like, what? Oh, cool. I'm doing fake stocks, so I'm gonna be hit by a fucking Obama drone. Holy shit! I'm gonna just for usability here. I'm actually going to put my glasses back on. I'm sorry for being lame. I'll put the shades back on later, but I will keep the trench coat until I overheat. I'm just happy the heat's back on in this building. Yeah, I agree with chat. It's not just Watch Dogs. This particular video has this like weird combination of like, it's like Watch Dogs, but the music is like Tron.
With the NMR cryptocurrency and get paid for the quality and originality.
Like, listen to the music background.
One in the world with zero
it's very
barriers.
Tron.
Submit a signal and get immediate feedback on its originality.
So yeah, it's like Watch Dogs meets Tron meets the 1984 Apple commercial. That's a good question. There was a very similar voice that was done by this very famous YouTuber that was uncovering like pedo rings that we played at last year's October meeting. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's, oh god, that drone strike. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was fully digital. I would not be surprised if all that's fully digital, although it could be also just a voice digitized, you know, like a normal voice, and then they just warped it. But it might just be all digital. We'll see. Anyhow, going back to the browser, and that was really funny, by the way. I'll put it this way: this meme is so accurate and so hilarious. I might use that either on a future DCG 201 blog post or use it as a video preview for one of our future live stream episodes. And I will credit you, Dr. Praxis, for showing us this meme image. So thank you so much. But yeah, so as I said before, Numerai signals. Again, look, this looks like a freaking Microsoft Teams website here. And then you click the video and it's all like, you will get hit by a drone if you do our weird stock game, fight the man. And it's like, what the fuck? This is the actual, and also like the monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey at the end right there. But this is their new version of the tournaments. This is fully integrated with Erasure, Numerai, which is the NMR actual token, as well as the actual tournament system. So as I said, you submit your signal that your AI has figured out on the stock market. So I think this is the registered bot, and the result is the signal identity. And then you discover, as it says, compares your signal against all the other signals to compare to how original. So it basically knows if you're copying its homework, and then you stake in that, and that's how you earn NMR, or the Numerai cryptocurrency, or up to 25% a week. And if you do bad, it burns your coins instead of earning them. I will look. I can't load if I load YouTube links. This is why I download all the videos. It will basically the whole thing will go kaputs the live stream like it kind of did almost before in the beginning. So I will go look at that YouTube later, but you did say it's from Epic. Let's see. Imagine if they ran this with with AI, and they just said, "Let's make an AI to take all the money in the world, so no one has money in a locked account. No one has no human access." I think that's the ultimate exit goal for Elon Musk, to be honest. I think that's how he's going to eventually go. Like, he's just going to put all the world's money into one encrypted bank account that only he can access, and then fly to the moon physically with it. That's what it's going to be. That's a stupid endgame right there. It's the Avengers Endgame Sad Edition. So that's some of the main components there. We have the Erasure, which is the actual, like, staking method where it's not just staking, but basically you can burn or up the staking on coin. So it's controlled staking measure that will allow to reward or punish decentralized without a third party. Not decentralized, but it's like not using like an admin in order to negotiate that, and thus basically everyone kind of governs themselves. This is embedded into the Erasure Bay, where all of these different bot submissions are listed. And then Signal is the actual account for the bots and its results, so that you can compare those results between other bots. Let's reward the system, and they basically all circle jerk each other. Let's look at some other things here. Another big thing about Numerai is its meta model contribution. This is kind of fascinating. It says, not every data scientist wants to play find the best version of XGBoost. Data science competition has become stale. I didn't even know there were more than these. I have to go look these up. Why does DEF CON do data competitions? Data science competitions? I need to ask. In fact, we're going to go check that out in a moment because I have another tab this is going to be all related back to. As the field of data science was emerging, landmark competitions like the Netflix Prize. Netflix was in this? And, well, they're evil, so that makes sense. And early Kaggle. I almost said Kraggle, like from the Lego movie. You know? The Kraggle! We need the Kraggle. We'll take over the Lego world with the Kraggle. The Kaggle, which sounds way too close to the word Kegel or kale. Competitions encourage new algorithms of creativity, but now there are a handful of algorithms which are known to perform best at certain types of problems. I think what they're arguing is that, as they say here, throw 1,000 different XGBoost models at the problem, cross-validate, and see which combination of height parameter plus procedural steps perform the best. They're running into what's called the Smash Brothers Melee problem, in which that every Super Smash Brothers Melee, it's a video game from the GameCube that's for some reason is still played today, really popular. The game is so old, and people have been playing it for so long, and it's an old game, so it's not like it receives like DLC updates or anything to balance it. Basically, the top 5 for that game has not changed in like 10 years. There's literally a meme that's like, it's like Mango Nation, Fox McCloud, PPMP, Final Destination. Because it's literally the same 5 or 7 dudes every year that win, and they all just play musical chairs on the throne. That's all they do. And so they're running the same problem where they're saying it's become boring because basically people have made this to such an exact science that now there's not any variety where like new people can just come in and wreck stuff or old people can slip up. Like you do in real non-doping sports. Although it seems to be the trend today that athletes don't dope themselves up. Instead, they become dopes and they say a bunch of anti-vax stuff that eventually kills them and their family. The Numerai Data Science Tournament is different. Numerai gives out their grid search XGBoost models for free, and now posts a new challenge to its data science community. Can you build a model that's different from what everyone else has submitted? So basically, that's what they're using Signal for, and that's what this MetaModel contribution method is that they already offer the actual XG Boost model. So they that's included with the data set. And what they're asking you to do is not, can you do this the fastest, the most efficient, or the most brute force, but can you do all those things and not look like any of the other programs that are submitted. So they also judge uniqueness. It's starting to turn to RuPaul's Drag Race with, was it charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. You probably know what that spells. I almost said smells. That was a Freudian slip. But that's what they're doing here. Is it's not just you have to win. You have to win on your own unique terms. If you're too similar, you don't go up in the staking process. Let's see here. As I said, that again, to reiterate, the data is obfuscated stock market data. The participants are predicting future price movements. Those predictions are then combined with the Numerai meta model, and that meta model is used to control the capital of the Numerai hedge fund. That says, as it turns out, Numerai doesn't necessarily benefit from getting 1,000 submissions that all particularly roughly the same thing. Only the first one or two of those submissions are really useful. The other 998 might be redundant information. Numerai's true power emerges from having many unique models that all have different strengths. It's kind of like the real world, where if everything was just the same Elder Scrolls instant character creator thing, it would be boring. We want real diversity, not tokenism, diversity, real diversity. You know, the more eyes you have looking around a room, the more secure the room is. So, let's see. These unique models become individual building blocks when you combine them. We know that the Numerai data set is rich, and to get all the information out of it, we need to try new things. That's why we've introduced the meta model contribution. Meta model contribution estimates how valuable each model is to the meta model that runs the hedge fund, so that those users could be paid based on their real value added. So this sounds like the glue that holds the erasure system with the Numerai signal system, this meta model contribution. This is the actual model they use. Dr. Praxis wrote, imagine if you could connect Smash Brother characters to hedge funds and watch how well each one is doing and how good each one of them is fighting in the back. Okay, I can one-up you on this, okay? I think they should play Street Fighter V or Smash Brothers Ultimate in divorce. Like each thing that comes up, like one of the kids or like the properties or like items they have in the house, like the stove, comes up, and they have to play around a Smash Brothers, and if you lose that, who wins and loses that round gets that thing. So it's like the middle son, and it's like, the wife won, the middle son goes to the wife. Okay, the stove, the husband won, the stove goes to the husband. Like that would be amazing. You could do different games. You could have Overwatch, Splatoon. Just link them to divorce courts. I think that would be even more hilarious. Although it would be interesting, actually, what would be even better? What if we could somehow interpolate? I'm going to submit this to the people I'm going to bring up in a moment. What if we take the same stock market data that Numerai has and use TaskBot to interpret it in such a way that you're using the stock market to control Smash Brother AI characters that they have to fight? That would be also very interesting. And by the way, I've been drinking artificial iced tea all day. Maybe there's something in it, but I haven't been smoking the reefer, okay, and I haven't been drinking actually. So I had a beer last night because I went out on a date. It was awesome, but I literally had one. I had a pitiful thing. It was like a Angry Orchard thing because that was the only good beer they had at the bar. I had one of them, and it's been more than 24 hours. It's almost been 24 hours. So I'm not drinking. I'm not on the reefer. I'm not on any drugs. This is just me being stupid and wearing this ridiculous shit, coming up with dumb ideas like that. I'm gonna have to write those down, Dr. Practice. But anyhow, moving on. So, a new process for a Numerai tournament will require consideration of entirely a new dimension. Instead of only considering performance, the data science will need to consider their predictions' independence with respect to other user predictions. An intuitive way to think about it is how to qualify a good model in this new two-dimensional competition might be performance times correlate one with correlation with the other models. And here's a weird dick picture to kind of do that. Express this. Oh, cool. I went on a date with a few days ago. Congrats. Yeah, I guess for both of us for like being the weird nerds that actually have social lives. That's like a cool thing. I guess that's lowers my nerd credit, but screw it. It can't get any lower than my Numerai credit. Um, but yeah, so master key, and it has a skull. Sorry, I see key, and I'm like, wow, they've already paid out over $1 million's worth of cryptocurrency to users in the last 3 months alone, and this is, I believe, from the mid 2000s, so it's probably gone up from then. But to kind of go over what we've gone through so far, so the way the Numerai tournament is set up in terms of its actual programmable conceptual components, not the step process that we're about to do, but like its actual stuff, is it uses a contracting protocol that is mostly part JavaScript and half JavaScript, half Solidity with some HTML, Python, and TypeScript embedded in Docker to work called Erasure, which is a protocol that uses social information to reward or punish users of using cryptocurrency without using administrators, so they govern themselves. All of this is publicized on the Erasure Bay, no relations to the Pirate Bay, so you can see this and it's all transparent. And then the signals is the actual tournament where the results of the AI bot are turned into a signal on Numerai, and then they can compare those signals with others, which allows the erasure system to reward and punish. And that is that system that both erasure and signals both use is called a meta model contribution model. Where basically you not only have your bot has to perform well and get good results, but also has to be different. It's like the Jewish thing, what makes this bot different from all the other bots, sort of thing. So you're not just spamming XGBoost and being done with it in terms of data science. The last thing that I'm going to read, and then we're probably going to look at a video, and then I'm going to attempt to do some terrible programming stuff, is one last element that kind of makes this whole thing works. And it's a really crazy concept. This is the actual finance side, if I remember correctly. And it's called idiosyncratic alpha. Now, I know that sounds like a new PlayStation 5 video game, but I'm going to use a quote from, and it's a type of hedge fund strategy with it's a type of machine learning strategy, by the way, by Neil Berger. And it goes like this. In sum, we believe quantitative strategies will still have a place in our portfolio as the new instant reward pops up. Traditional and more pedestrian quantitative strategies such as fundamental factor, momentum, and mean revision-based statistical arbitrage do not. We have already or are in the process of exiting. I'm reading this. You're not actually. I should just like go back to like a default like DCG tool one website as I read this. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to face mode as I read this. Actually, let me put on the stupid shade since now it's more focused on my face. Do. I know Bitcoin. Show me. We have already or are in the process of exiting those strategies, and managers who believe run more pedestrian quantitative strategies that have not recognized or keep pace with the increased competition in Quant and the reduction in the availability alpha due to the reasons mentioned above. While we are reducing quant broadly within quant, we are increasing our allocations to strategies and managers who run idiosyncratic and highly capacity constraint strategies that either require a highly specialized skill set and knowledge to effectuate or are simply too capacity constrained to abstract competition from a larger players. What does any of this mean? Well, what we are going to do, and this is where I'm going to go back to screen mode, is we're going to watch two videos back to back. We're going to watch an intro to machine learning, just because I keep saying the AI bots that are programmed and that we might program ourselves use machine learning this, machine learning that, cyberpunk dystopias are real, get over it. What is machine learning? So we're going to learn, for all the people, I already know what it is, but for all the people out there, we're going to watch this very short video on what machine learning is. I'm going to reiterate and go over what we say, and then we're going to watch another slightly longer but still relatively short video on the specifics of machine learning and techniques. And once we learn those, I will go back to idiosyncratic alphas, I think it was called, and we will learn about those techniques because apparently these are the specific techniques that successful people in Numerai use for machine learning to make their bots awesome and get the most amount of crypto rewards. So let's answer that question. What is the machine learning? Computer? Tell us.
As technology evolves and the world's population grows, so does the amount of data being generated. Collecting, sorting, and analyzing all of this data can be pretty time-consuming. However, that's starting to change with the emergence of something called machine learning. Machine learning is a type of computer science that allows computer programs to learn and improve all on their own. In the past, computers could only do what we programmed them to do. But with machine learning, they can behave like humans and gain knowledge based on their past experiences. This process can get pretty complicated, but here's how it works on a basic level. Let's say we want a program that can tell the difference between apples and bananas. First, we'll give it some labeled pictures of each. The program will then look for patterns in the fruits and start to remember them. It can then use these memories to look at unlabeled pictures of apples and bananas and determine which is which, all on its own. Believe it or not, you probably encounter machine learning on a daily basis. Social media sites use it to create your feed based on your preferences, and search engines use it to improve the accuracy of their search results.
You mean Google?
It's also being used on a larger scale. The medical industry is applying machine learning to things like predicting lifespans, organizing patient data, and even diagnosing certain diseases.
Yay, more hacking.
As with many emerging technologies, there's a concern that machine learning may eliminate certain jobs.
Or that
this will vary from industry to industry, but it does have the potential to get rid of or change a number of occupations, including drivers, bankers, and potentially even certain doctors.
Like Dr.
While it may
Phil.
have some negative effects, many believe that its positive applications will outweigh them.
I want to know
Goodwill Community Foundation.
why the computer's feet comes from the front of the keyboard. That was just kind of weird, as that meme shows up. So, as it says, for all the peons out there that don't know what machine learning is, machine learning is not artificial intelligence, although it's a subset and has something to do with artificial intelligence. So let's see if I can break it down with like AI and stuff. So, and let's go back to face mode. Let's put on like the Ian Malcolm hat. So the study of artificial intelligence is essentially studying intelligence itself. We are essentially reverse engineering our own brains to figure out how they work. The best way to do that is to reverse engineer ourselves, our own thinking processes, how our neurons are fired, etc., and then create duplicates of that aren't like, you know, a penis and a vagina duking it out, and then 9 months later this horrible potato mutant comes, and then after 18 years of screaming and crying it grows into an adult that screams and cries but has the same intelligence level as an American that uses borax to try to cure COVID vaccines. So so you're not doing that. Instead you're like taking a toaster and making it behave like a human brain. That's what. So essentially, conceptually, philosophically, if there's a great book, by the way, that you can read that the people who made the Matrix films, the first one, had to read before they opened the script, and that's called, I forget the author's name, I can look it up later, but it's called Out of Control. It's an old book, but if you're able to get one used or whatever, a huge-ass book, I used to own it, really amazing book, even though it was written like 30 years ago. It has a lot of stuff with AIs and artificial intelligence that are extremely relevant today, especially with like the evolution of artificial intelligences from its very early scientific computing and mathematical days to the mid-90s when the book was written. It's called Out of Control. I will look up what it is later. It has cool ants on the cover and everything. But basically, artificial intelligence is essentially reverse engineering ourselves, mainly our brains, to figure out why they work. And again, the best way to do that is to reverse engineer all of our actions and processes, both sociological and physical, in terms of the human brain, and then making replicas of them, because if those replicas can be indistinguishable from human behavior, that basically, it's scientific method, it validates our proof that that's how our brains behave, and we can solve more things about ourselves by using these machines. Also, basically, you can add more brains instead of waiting 9 months and then 18 years in order to make another dumb human that eats Tide Pods because a TikTok video told him. And thus being able to, the more brains out there, the more stuff we can do. And especially since computers automatically usually can retain more information and do calculations way faster than we do, and even more multi-threading. So technically they should be able to, what do you call it, multitask way more better and efficiently. I can barely remember what I had for eat last. I know I had pizza last night, but it's really hard for me to remember, like, me trying to eat, when am I going to take a crap, live streaming this, OnlyFans people I'm following all at the same time. Computers, you've seen my browser tabs, you can just, if you have a good processor, it just goes on forever. So you can basically have humans that, while not artificial humans or artificial human brains, whether they're physical hardware, code, or both, that not only can do the same calculations that we do, but can do them potentially faster and more of them than what our default brains can because of our own hardware and software programming limitations. That's what artificial intelligence is. It's basically, we are trying to replicate the human brain so that we can study more, A, about ourselves, and B, use these artificial brains as more brains than what we already have in the world, which is very little because we're so stupid as a species, in order to get other tasks done. Now, what machine learning is, as that video says, is an aspect of how the human brain works. So there's many certain things of why we can't just PC gamer this shit. Why we can't just grab the best GPU and the best CPU and an unlimited amount of RAM and throw it together and get HAL 9000 or Skynet. There's a reason why we can't do that. And it all comes from, for example, all circuits, even though they exist in the 3D world, are designed in 2 dimensions. Our brains grow in 3 dimensions. So what our brains are technically called on a technical level is a 3-dimensional circuit, which means it has completely different properties and completely different programming methods than a 2D circuit. In the same way, a cube is way more complicated and has its own idiosyncrasies than just a square drawn on a piece of paper, right? That's one example. And machine learning is something that our human brains do. And basically, machine learning is a very complicated term. It's so simple, yet it's so complicated, of learning from your memories. So, for example, if there is a bug whose colors are yellow and black, and it flies, and every time you go outside, it hates you, and it goes up, and it stings your ass. For some reason, my nose is going crazy. I guess in the next video, I'll blow it out because I'm not on drugs. That's not a cocaine thing. Okay, this is me being goofy. That's some people at home are like, that's what someone who was high as fuck would say. No, but if there was a flying bug that was patterned with yellow and black stripes and it flies, and every time you encountered it, kept stinging you, based on those memories of it stinging you, you would eventually learn to identify anything that flies that's yellow and black stripe and to stay the fuck away from that thing. Or if it's aggressive, kill it because you know what the result's going to happen. That's you learning from memories. And there's often both a technical and philosophical argument, which is that is the entirety of intelligence and sapience, which are both in humans, are just a collection of memories, or are we more than a collection of memories? Because if we are just a collection of memories, that also has implications about free will and chaos versus order, and as a famous Russian philosopher that I need to remember his name says, the whole point of science is to edge humanity closer to and confirm its existential dread that it's no more different than a piano key. And so that's always been a debate of not only philosophically, but now that we have more competent artificial intelligences mechanically, if we're just a collection of memories, because if we ever make AI where we can't indistinguish them from humans and their entire built programming is just collections of memories, that tells a lot about ourselves, both in good ways and especially bad ways. So machine learning is basically, instead of being programmed what to do, because no one is born thinking that black and yellow striped things that fly hurt. That is something you learn. You go through that traumatic process, or, which is another thing humans do, you might read about it or see another person go through it, so you don't even have to directly experience it yourself, and you get that data, and thus you can go off of that. There's also a lot of cognitive biases in that. For example, something that really fucks over machine learning is mimics. So, for example, there are bumblebees, which are bees that don't sting, but they also don't want to get eaten or perturbed. So they have evolved to be yellow and black striped, and of course, because they're bees, they fly. And what they're hoping you do is that instead of looking at it and realizing they're little fat fuzzy fuckers, they're like little Chris Christies with wings, that you go yellow and black plus flying. Oh fuck, I stay away. Even though it is not a yellow jacket, which has those same things, but they sting. These ones don't, but they want you to think they are. The human equivalent is the person wearing a flashlight in their coat. So there's an object that sticks out, and that shape of that object, people think it's a firearm, and it's just a flashlight. You've also seen police horribly do this when, like, a black person has a cell phone and they think they have a nuclear weapon and then shoot them 8 million times, even though they're only 11 years old. Meanwhile, 17-year-olds get left free after they come out to support Black Lives Matter. Anyhow, that's what machine learning is. So to recap, machine learning is not artificial intelligence, but is an aspect of artificial intelligence, and is something that's used in artificial intelligence, and is something that humans are pre-programmed to do, which is why I have that beef where they're like, oh, you're not using programming, but the thing is, it is programmed to learn from memory. So they're still programming, but it's like, it just has the core operating system of just observe, record, compare data, and then react. And then the rest of that is just data, because the computation parts are already there. So it's not no coding, but it's basically less coding. It's less rigid. It's more dynamic, which is why human beings are more dynamic, which is also why they can be suckered into things. So now that we know what machine learning is and artificial intelligence is and the difference between the two, let's do a bit more deep dive. It's still an introduction, but let's learn what different types of machine learning there is. A really cool video. It's about 6 or 7 minutes long. By the way, for anyone who's watching on DLive, we are going to do a lemon drop, and I will say right now, even if I'm in the middle of programming, we're going to try to do this lemon drop at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we're on the East Coast of Jersey City in New Jersey. That will either be right when we're ending, or I definitely plan to end by 11. I'm not going to probably go beyond 11. But again, if you want me to keep programming and not rage quit, donate $1 or $3 or $1 or $5 to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, which I'm going to post the link again. We're trying to get $600 before January 1st of 2022. And we're already like $31 away. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, $31 away, because I'm bad at math, from being halfway to our goal, which we have to thank people like Fee One Dad for his $69 donation, nice, and his other donations, as well as a lot of other people donating fiat money to help sick kids, COVID, injuries, mental disabilities, things like that, all across the United States and Canada via the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. It's also handled through Tiltify, which means we don't touch any of the money. And even if we don't make our $600 goal by the new year, all the money is still going to go to help these sick kids. So you go and do that, or if you're on Twitch, you can scroll below and click on the widget. You can click on the link in chat or scan the QR code. We're now going to learn, now that we know what AI, artificial intelligence is, as opposed to what the matrix says it is, and machine learning is. Let's go a deeper dive into machine learning and learn a little bit clearer than how I explained it, what machine learning is, but in particular, the different types of machine learning. And then we're going to go into what apparently is the good machine learning that Numerai uses, and then we're going to take a look at the example code and possibly try to enter it into the competition. So let's go back to not face, and let's load up the next video and learn the different types of machine learning. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. All right, let's do this.
From their past experiences, and machines follow instructions given by humans. But what if humans can train the machines to learn from their past data and do what humans can do and much faster?
What if we can train the
that's called
monkeys?
machine learning. But it's a lot more than just learning. It's also about understanding and reasoning. So today we will learn about the basics of machine learning. So that's Paul. He loves listening to new songs. He either likes them or dislikes them. Paul decides this on the basis of the song's tempo, genre, intensity, and the gender of voice.
So
For
he's
simplicity, let's just use tempo and intensity for now. So here, tempo is on the x-axis, ranging from relaxed to fast, whereas intensity is on the y-axis, ranging from light to soaring. We see that Paul likes the song with fast tempo and soaring intensity, while he dislikes the song with relaxed tempo and light intensity. So now we know Paul's choices. Let's say Paul listens to a new song. Let's name it as Song A. Song A has fast tempo and a soaring intensity, so it lies somewhere here. Looking at the data, can you guess whether Paul will like the song or not? Correct. So Paul likes this song. By looking at Paul's past choices, we were able to classify the unknown song very easily, right? Let's say now Paul listens to a new song. Let's label it as Song B. So Song B lies somewhere here with medium tempo and medium intensity. Neither relaxed nor fast, neither light nor soaring. Now can you guess whether Paul likes it or not? Not able to guess whether Paul will like it or dislike it? Are the choices unclear? Correct. We could easily classify Song A. But when the choice became complicated, as in the case of Song B, yes, and that's where machine learning comes in. Let's see how. In the same example, for Song B, if we draw a circle around the Song B, we see that there are 4 votes for like, whereas 1 vote for dislike. If we go for the majority votes, we can say that Paul will definitely like the song. That's all. This was a basic machine learning algorithm also. It's called K-nearest neighbors. So this is just a small example in one of the many machine learning algorithms. Quite easy, right? Believe me, it is. But what happens when the choices become complicated, as in the case of Song B? That's when machine learning comes in. It learns the data, builds the prediction model, and when the new data point comes in, it can easily predict for it. More the data, better the model, higher will be the accuracy. There are many ways in which the machine learns. It could be either supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning. Let's first quickly understand supervised learning. Suppose your friend gives you 1 million coins of 3 different currencies, say 1 rupee, 1 euro and 1 dirham. Each coin has different weights. For example, a coin of 1 rupee weighs 3 grams, 1 euro weighs 7 grams and 1 dirham weighs 4 grams. Your model will predict the currency of the coin. Here, your weight becomes the feature of coins, while currency becomes their label. When you feed this data to the machine learning model, it learns which feature is associated with which label. For example, it will learn that if a coin is of 3 grams, it will be a 1 rupee coin. Let's give a new coin to the machine. On the basis of the weight of the new coin, your model will predict the currency. Hence, supervised learning uses labeled data to train the model. Here the machine knew the features of the object and also the labels associated with those features. On this note, let's move to unsupervised learning and see the difference. Suppose you have cricket dataset of various players with their respective scores and wickets taken. when we feed this dataset to the machine identifies the pattern of player performance. So it plots this data with the respective wickets on the x-axis while runs on the y-axis. While looking at the data, you will clearly see that there are two clusters. The one cluster are the players who scored high runs and took less wickets, while the other cluster is of the players who scored less runs but took many wickets. So here we interpret these two clusters as batsmen and bowlers. The important point to note here is that there were no labels of batsmen and bowlers.
Really
Hence, the learning with unlabeled data is unsupervised learning. So we saw supervised learning where the data was labeled and the unsupervised learning where the data was unlabeled. And then there is reinforcement learning, which is reward-based learning, or we can say that it works on the principle of feedback. Here, let's say you provide the system with an image of a dog and ask it to identify it. The system identifies it as a cat. So you give a negative feedback to the machine saying that it's a dog's image. The machine will learn from the feedback, and finally if it comes across any other image of a dog, it will be able to classify it correctly. That is reinforcement learning. To generalize machine learning model, let's see a flowchart. Input is given to a machine learning model, which then gives the output according to the algorithm applied. If it's right, we take the output as our final result. Else, we provide feedback to the training model and ask it to predict until it learns. I hope you've understood supervised and unsupervised learning. So let's have a quick quiz. You have to determine whether the given scenarios uses supervised or unsupervised learning. Simple, right? Scenario 1. Facebook recognizes your friend in a picture from an album of tagged photographs. Scenario.
Which one do we think that is? Facebook recognizes our face. So we have supervised learning where things are labeled, unsupervised learning where things aren't labeled and the labels are figured out by the algorithm itself, and then we have reinforcement learning where positive and negative feedback determines what the labels are as opposed to it just figuring out on their own. So it's kind of like a weird hybrid in a very specific sense between supervised and unsupervised. We're watching a video. I didn't know you left. So chat, we're watching once again a video for those of you who came back. We just saw a video on exactly what machine learning is. I'm not going to replay these videos again. And then this video is a more deep dive into the different types of machine learning. And right now, what the videos taught us is what are and the differences between the supervised learning model, unsupervised learning model, and a reinforcement model. And they're going through scenarios, and we have to guess if they're supervised or unsupervised. So the first scenario is Facebook's facial recognition, or it can tag you in photos. Technically, I'm pretty sure behind the scenes it is reinforcement, but because they're only asking supervised or unsupervised, I'm going to guess that, let's see, if it's labeled, you can add labels, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's unsupervised because it's going to eventually figure out if your facial features are incompatible with other facial features, which might be a good guess that those people are relatives, other people in photos, and it might be able to get those relations based on the context of the photo, of the relationship, stuff like that. So I'm going to actually say scenario 1 is unsupervised, but I might be wrong. So let's look at the second scenario here.
Scenario 2. Netflix recommends new movies based on someone's past movie choices.
So that's obvious. That one I think is supervised because those that is you're voting up and down. People are giving ratings to the films, and that's actually how Netflix is. They're using the super old logo. That's how Netflix knows what movies are supposedly good or bad. It's things like review bombing, which throws its algorithm crazy. So I'm going to say first scenario is unsupervised, second one is supervised. And let's see what this third scenario is.
Scenario 3. Analyzing bank data for suspicious transactions and flagging the fraud transactions.
I think that would be supervised, especially with the way security is. I think that would be a supervised data. You would have hard data in that, especially if it's something with a banking system, which only has certain parameters. And that way you have really good enforced parameters. So that way, if something is slightly off, you can guess that there's some fuckery is going on. So I'm going to say right now, and maybe other people in chat have something different, that scenario 1 is the only unsupervised one, and the other 2 are supervised. So let's see how wrong I am.
Think wisely and comment below your answers. Moving on.
Oh, they're not even going to tell us? It's in the comments below. It's one of those stupid YouTube things. I'm upset. I'm still sticking by my answers, but I'm upset. Anyhow, let's watch the rest of this video.
Don't you sometimes wonder, how is machine learning possible in today's era? Well, that's because today we have humongous data available. Everybody is online, either making a transaction or just surfing the internet, and that's generating a huge amount of data every minute. And that data, my friend, is the key to analysis. Also, the memory handling capabilities of computers have largely increased, which helps them to process such a huge amount of data at hand without any delay. And yes, computers now have great computational powers. So there are a lot of applications of machine learning out there. To name a few, machine learning is used in healthcare, where diagnostics are predicted for doctors' review. The sentiment analysis that the tech giants are doing on social media is another interesting application of machine learning. Fraud detection in the finance sector, and also to predict customer churn in the e-commerce sector. While booking a cab, you must have encountered surge pricing often, where it says the fare of your trip has been updated. Continue booking? Yes, please, I'm getting late for office. Well, that's an interesting machine learning model which is used by global taxi giant Uber and others, where they have differential pricing in real time based on demand, the number of cars available, bad weather, rush hour, etc. So they use the surge pricing model to ensure that those who need a cab can get one. Also, it uses predictive modeling to predict where the demand will be high, with the goal that drivers can take care of the demand and surge pricing can be minimized. Great! Hey Siri, can you remind me to book a cab at 6 p.m. today?
Okay, I'll remind you.
Everyone's
Thanks.
Siris go
No
nuts.
problem.
Comment below some interesting everyday examples around you.
So this is exactly, by the way, why Facebook has proposed this whole metaverse, and why they're pushing hard into it, and why Facebook itself can do this. In particular, Google and Microsoft, and especially Amazon can do this, is because this is also why there's a push for automated services, digitized information, and smart cities, because all of those are driven by data. It's the same way how like everything physically does always develops entropy. In the digital world, and technically in the physical world, everything generates data. It is data, and then every piece of data generates its own data and updates its own data. And that is a giant mining pool for algorithms, and this is how these companies make business and makes money. One of the oldest ones is the stock market, and that's why we're here with Numerai. So now that we know what machine learning is and how it relates to AI, and the confusion that machine learning is AI because people are crazy. As we look at this funny meme, and now that we know the differences in them, I'm going to explain apparently the type of algorithm that works really well with these programs, which is idiosyncrasy alpha, where, as I said here, from quote Neil Berger's market commentary, while we are reducing Quaint broadly within Quaint, we are increasing our allocations to strategies and managers who run idiosyncratic and highly capacity-constrained strategies that either require a highly specialized skill set and knowledge to efficiate, or are simply too capacity-strained to attract competition for the larger players. Now we're going to explain with this. Let's break down the definition about, like, this is what's going to be replacing what they call pedestrian strategies. So you have idiosyncratic, which is particular individual. It says here, according to, in my notes, is according to the above definition, popular strategies, including trend following, cross-sectional, and absolute momentum, statistic average, all of that, do not offer idiosyncratic alpha since they are widely known and are of high capacity. So, for example, CTAs are already be impacted by relying on high capacity and widely used strategies. Alpha has diminished, and the CTAs are now trying to use these strategies in context of low correlation within the stock market and alternative beta, aka like past high absolute returns potential is gone now for good. All that mumbo jumbo Vice has said is that they're not idiosyncratic because any wide knowing things, such as, for example, GameStop manipulability on Robinhood, is very well known, which is why it was so easy to flood. The current stock market is kind of based after this, and this is what is being trying to change with Numerai. This is the part that's going to melt my brain besides the coding part, which is why I've merged two together. And that what's going to with other types of strategies that are in these sort of alphas are event vision strategies. So all the people involved in them, like again, mergers, acquisitions, earnings surprises, bankruptcies, all this sort of stuff will affect the data, as well as sentiment driven strategies, such as new information, essentially information impacting information. So, for example, look at actually this one where whether the political divide you stand on this is a very practical one. You probably heard about Salvation Army. Now you should still probably hate Salvation Army, and I hate them too. I'm never going to defend them, but apparently their internal memo leaked for this year, and they actually said that in order to cast a wide net, that they should be supporting people of all different organizations, including organizations and people who affiliate them, such as Black Lives Matter and such. A segment of the population, particularly wasps, and not the flying ones that sting, although they do sting, said that this was all woke bullshit, and they pulled money out. And so, because like this wasn't like people invested into or donated to Salvation Army, and then like that money went like bad, and that's why their value's gone down. A piece of data to the public, the socialness, which is that, oh, they're using a strategy that some people do not like, came out, and thus the market reacted. Because often when we think of market stuff or even like math stuff, we think math equals math, so that like market, it's like, well, you have money is the only thing that's going to impact money, and as we know very well, that's not true. Humans impact money, so it's also social trends, and that's called the sentiment data, which is like news and social media, such as the information that got leaked by Salvation Army, or like the Facebook leak, which really tanked Facebook stocks from the whistleblower. So those are two things that will develop in this idiosyncratic alpha strategies, which is these are very particular instances that are not well known that majorly affects an outcome. So that's kind of what we're doing here, and basically we're trying to take that and making it into a machine learning model. As I wrote here, the fundamental problem of machine learning is the bias variance trade-off. Supervised classifications require availability of a set of features also known as predictors, facilitators, or attributes. Simple models have high bias and low variance, and more complex models have low bias and high variance. In a nutshell, as the numbers of the features increase, the biases decrease at the risk of over-filtering to noise. As the number of features decreases, then models tend to underfit new data. There's no easy way to find the optimum trade-off. More importantly, the feature engineering is a key aspect of machine learning, but it's more of an art than a science, although science is an art, so probably the reverse is true. I mean, painting, you have to know a lot about like chemicals and stuff, and there's color theory and all of that. I think what they're saying is that it's not an exact science, or more like it's a less well-researched aspect of science, or data missing science. Funny enough, because we're talking about data and machine learning. So as they say here, Numerai, for example, how does it relate to idiosyncratic alpha, provides encrypted features to data science to use in developing models. The data scientists upload their predictions, which we might do, and they are evaluated by the fund operator determine the compensation. And so this sort of approach is apparently what not only the Numerai system uses overall in terms of its own data model for the AI machine learning, because we're learning basically like the framework that it's being used, which I can actually go back to the browser. That framework is, let's get this properly loaded here. Oh, come on. Why are you freaking out? There we go. Erasure, which is its staking method, where basically it uses sociality and performance to reward or punish via the actual staking without using a intermediary party in order to supervise that. All of this is public and thus transparent on Erasure Bay, and then the signal system's the actual tournament that turns all the data from the bot, which is mainly made in Python and R, which is the coding method, into a extrapolated data that the erasure system uses using its overall where did I write this? Meta model contribution, and the model it uses, as well as the individual bots used for the stock market, is idiosyncrasy alphas, where they basically are higher end, the good programs, including Numerai, are higher AIs that essentially are you instead of trying to do as broadly as possible, they individually focus on very specific instances that cause a lot of entropy movement within the system, and thus the most amount of data, so that I can get more accurate results and unique results with unique methods. So that's kind of overall of what we've been trying to discuss. I love I actually just realized in the meme that this was screenshot, so it says new text document over the meme. I didn't notice that before. So it's going to be 10:30 soon. Right at 10:30, I will go into DLive and drop the lemons. We're probably only going to be streaming for the next 10 to 20 minutes max. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to do this shit. So first thing we're going to do is download the data. And it's a zip file, Numerai data set, okay. And I'm actually going to log in, and for the login part, I'm actually going to flip back to the face cam here. Before we exit, I will put on the shades and stuff, so don't worry. I'm actually going to kick this out of full screen mode, because not only do I not need it anymore, but it'll be able to process load better. So I'm going to log in. You guys are probably going to try to reverse engineer the sound of the keyboard to figure out what my login information is. And while I'm in face mode and we're logging in, I just want to remind everyone once again that we are trying to raise money, as you can see with the bar above, and this green bar over here that says how far we are to goal, for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, which is a charity org that distributes money that's donated to it to various pediatric centers and wings of hospitals throughout the United States and Canada, because it's America. Nobody. If I can download this data separately here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip back to screen mode. And here comes the new instant reward. At least that was timely done. I'm going to see if I can do this on a different browser and hope that it doesn't implode. Because it's probably even zipped a lot of data. And I, for some reason, did not think this far ahead because I am a poopy head. But while this is loading, as you can see, this is what happens when you're logged in. Wait a minute, where the... Because I had a... Oh, here's the controller. Can I get this live again? Okay. Why does it not want to work now? Okay. No, because I have like a repeat stream on here. So that's what was going on. But yeah, you can see this is what happens when you log in. It says welcome, make it. And by the way, one of the reasons why this is kind of cool is that they put the new data for the program on Saturday at 4 p.m. our time, Eastern Standard Time. So this is actually right at the beginning of the tournament still. And that's why if I can download the data, otherwise we'll just look at example code and call it quits. And in fact, 2 minutes we're going to do the stream here. Let's see. If it drops again, then I know unfortunately I can't download the data. That would really suck. All right, let's try it here and see if it dips or not. All right, so it's downloading. It's like as soon as I start downloading, it like the stream cut out. Like I know it's a lot of data, but I didn't think it was that much data. It's like kind of confused right now. So if I drop out again, that's confirmed that me trying to download the data set while I'm live streaming is causing all the problems. The only other thing I could think of if it's causing problems like this is I might have to put everyone on music, go to another computer, download it on a USB stick, and then send it over. But right now everything's downloading fine. That might have to just be doing with the browser, the browser I was using. Maybe just is like, because I know it's like a hacked version of Firefox that I'm using, so it might just be using like just like it has no like idea of like separate tunneling for download, and it's just using all the download tunnels. And is this a dark mode? I can do dark mode on this. Yay! I love dark mode on everything. This is easier for my eyes. It seems like, let's look at the leaderboards here. So number one is, of course, the Triforce logo. We have a Triforce logo, a skateboarder, and a generic flame. This looks like the Xbox Live leaderboards right now. So we have over 3,000 staked models to control the Numerai hedge fund. Numerai stakes itself is over 600. It's over 600. An average 3-month return has been 4.09. And this is the area where we can download the data, which is what I'm doing right now in the background, and update the predictions. There's also legacy data, and you can also download a diagnostic tool that has all of this working. So let's see what we can do here. It's just since we're logged in, I'm just clicking around. We're not going to go into the chat for this because I know that is a Riot chat. Sorry, not Riot, Rocket chat. It's using Rocket. And we're almost done downloading the data, so it might have just been the browser that I'm using. That was bizarre. Sorry for that stream drop. So I thought I could download it while we were looking at it, but apparently not. Alright, so this is what it's like when we've logged into Signals here, where it's like we don't have a model. This is the actual tournament stuff, so we'd create a new model. And before we get into that model, I'm going to go over and we're going to look at, nope, I just downloaded the zip. Let's see if I can bring the, nah, I'd rather open it in a thing. So I'm just going to extract it here. Let's pick another folder system that is less of a headache for me. Apps, documents. Yeah, let's save this in documents. There. And it's just going to be called Numerai. So I'm extracting it now. Might take a bit. But this is the actual tournament part. And over here this is the actual Numerai Python API. So you automatically download, upload data, and this uses Linux, so it's pip install update Numerai API. The Numerai API can be used as a regulable, importable Python module or from the command line. Some actions like uploading and predicting staking require a token to verify that is really you interacting with Numerai's API. These tokens consist of public ID and a secret key, and something just yelled at me. Oh, wow. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, let's try something else. That was really weird. Okay, what other things can I zip this to? Apparently the data was so huge it literally ran out of space. I'm now really curious of how big this file actually is. Because I know it's based on like the entire stock market, but holy crap. Alright, so what I'm trying to dig to is, I have 2 drives on here. Let's use this external hard drive that, according to the person that set up this computer, it should have all the space. So if it can't fully unzip to this one, then we won't have it. I'm going to delete all of this afterwards anyhow. So I'm going to download this into the documents on there, and I'm going to extract it. Let's extract it there and see if we have any space left, because that was just bizarre. It's a bizarre night tonight. But yeah, there's a public ID and a secret key. Both can be obtained by logging Numerai AI and going to account custom API keys. Tokens can be passed to the Python module as parameters, or you can be set via Python module. There's a use example in here. And by the way, if you are on our, I could actually share this particular GitHub URL if you want to look at it. And if you are on Twitch, when we look at this, we currently have the Numerai API, example scripts, and the Erasure protocol as widgets on our GitHub, as links on our GitHub widget on Twitch. So if you are watching the Twitch stream, if you scroll down to the bottom, next to the donation for the Tiltify, which I'm going to post again because all of you should be donating $1 for my upcoming torture, there is also a GitHub widget, and you can click on any of these to follow along with the code or look at it on your own leisure. So we might get Pola installed the pip API on the subsystem just to see what it looks like. And from my understanding, this API, what it does is it can put stuff into the bot that you build. So I'm just doing it to look at what the Numerai API is going to be like. I'm not going to actually do anything with the bots. And now here's the big page, which is the example scripts that we're going to look at, which is entirely in Juniper Notebook and a little bit in Python. Oh, no. Go back. So we have this cool text graphic here, like if it was in a text file. Quick start data set, not sex. God. Am I tired again? So with this, so it does seem like you need Linux for this. So pip install, although I might be able to do this through the terribleness that is PowerShell, but we'll find out. Pip install -u pip and pip install our requirements text. And then we run the example Python. The example script will produce a valuation prediction CVS file, which you can upload to there to get modeled as diagnostics. Okay, so this is what makes this interesting because, all right, what we're going to do is, even though these are technically Linux commands, they might be universal enough that I might be able to do this through PowerShell, because I was not expecting to run a Linux VM in this. But let's see, the data set here, size is 10. So that's what 10 gigabytes for float 32 features, 5 gigabytes for init 8 features, and 1 gigabyte for Paraclete features. Customs. Also, the thing is, my data set is separate, so we wouldn't be able to do that anyhow. So more descriptions. Blah, blah, blah. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to requires a lot of RAM, 16 gigabytes of RAM and Intel i5 4 cores or 6 cores with the AMD Ryzen 5. We're running on a NVIDIA GeForce. So this is why I told Cirrus all this. So we might have to do this on the makeup episode on January 1st. Why I wanted the other supercomputer plugged into this and then stream on this machine, because not only do I often have problems doing the programming on the machine while I'm streaming due to bandwidth issues, but also that way everything is on one computer and I can set up all the data on here and the other that. So if it doesn't work on this stream, we will do this on the makeup one on January 8th, I believe it is. January 8th of 2022. However, we are going to try this now, and the way we're going to do this is I've already downloaded the data set, and I'm going to do a bit of setup in the background. But while we do that, there's going to be the last video we're going to be playing, which is an intro video done by the numerology people on the actual tournament itself. And what we're going to do with that is, while that's going on, I'm going to set up some stuff in the background, and while I do that, I'm literally going to do the lemon drop for all the DLive watchers. So if you're on DLive right now, and I should have put the time in beforehand, DLive has its own, you know how if you're on Twitch, there's like bits that you can download. It's like a cryptocurrency token, but it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. It's like an in-game microtransaction currency, but for live streams. That is the oh boy. Yeah, that's gonna be hilarious. I just got the warning of like your computer's running out of memory, and it's like, yeah, I know, I have to delete all this bullshit because it's a way larger data set. So what's happening here is that let me close this. Is that okay, good. Is that Lemons is the ones on DLive. So for the DLive watchers right now, as we watch the video, you're gonna get X amount of lemons. We do this on every Crypto Barons episode where we try to give out lemons to our community as a thank you for watching us, in addition to the instant rewards. So while we watch this video about the tournament, I'm going to distribute those lemons on DLive right now, and then we're going to do some setup, and we're going to try to get this run, and if it doesn't run, oh well, on the episode and on Twitch, we'll go right another stream, and I'll thank you everybody, and hopefully between now and the next time I live stream, we will get more donations for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. If we do get it running, we'll look a little bit of it, and then I'm going to end the stream anyhow, because this is just way too much programming and math for me, especially since I don't have the best setup for this. But let's watch our last video here, and we're going to learn about the tournament itself directly from Numerai and like how it works and how to enter and stuff like that. So here we go as I try to find the file for this. And I'll put on the shades and the trench coat at the end of this. Okay, where am I? Numerai. Let's see. Numerai. Here it is, I believe. Wait, no, is that it? Hold on. Machine learning basics. Lots of utopia. Why is machine learning? Okay, I think this is the video. We're gonna try this. Nope, that was the wrong video. Let me try a different one here. I don't know if anyone's seeing this at home, but I'm also getting lag on my end, so I apologize for that. Again, I think downloading that data set, like the computer right now, is like, and it's like really struggling. It's like me when I try to get up in the morning. So definitely after this stream, I'm going to delete all the data set. It's what happens when you know the joke about port scanning all the entire internet. We basically just like downloaded all the stonks data, and it's fucking up the computer. So now here we go. So let's hear about how the tournament works, how the modeling AI systems work as I do some setup. And right now, I'm also, if you're on DLive, you're about to collect those lemons in the next minute or two. It's going to take about like 30 seconds. So collect those lemons and let's learn about the tournament before we inevitably crash this computer by trying to do this bullshit as the next instant reward goes off. Here we go.
I'm Howard Morgan. I started Renaissance Technologies with Jim Simons back in 1982.
My name is Norman Packard. I'm trained as a theoretical physicist. I was a co-founder in a company called Prediction Company.
When you get into AI, you often don't really understand what the algorithms are doing. They may game against you. They may see you coming. They're dealing with the numerical indicators without knowing what they mean. And that in itself was another breakthrough. We had been approached by a lot of people doing quant funds over the years. What impressed me about the way Richard was thinking about it was this notion of the meta model. He was really thinking about how to harness the people out there in the world who don't use this as a day job, but people who are really good at big data handling and artificial intelligence and statistics and don't have the resources to start a hedge fund. Richard has figured out, and was the first one who I've seen, who really figured out how to harness all of that.
I realized that he had, for the first time ever, created a mechanism to capture the intelligence of the crowd that's on the internet, where anyone can participate, and actually apply that intelligence to the stock market. And it's the first time anyone's ever been able to do it like he did it.
In the past decade or so, one of the discoveries in machine learning is the power of combining lots of different models.
If you have a bunch of models, you can actually do sort of like a layer of machine learning on top of that, where you combine them in a really smart way, right? So if like a guy over here sort of learns something that's useful, and a guy over here learns something different, people like Richard can then go combine them and make it more useful than like either of the two parts.
For example, we may find one model is actually terrific at predicting the utility stocks, but terrible at predicting what's going to happen with the other stocks. And someone else may have the bank stocks just right, but terrible on the tech stocks. And a third person might have the tech stocks just right. So we can create a meta model that incorporates the working parts of each of those submodels.
The idea of crowdsourcing modeling existed before Numerai did. And the idea of using models to predict.
Wait, oh, what happened? Wait, let me try that again. The video just died. Oh, Lord. It's also interesting, too, because right now, let me actually try to do this first. I'm distributing the lemons right now because everything's kind of grinding to a halt. And again, I think it's because, and this is why I wanted to originally do this on a separate computer, us downloading all the stonks on the internet is essentially screwing the entire operations locally on my machine. The machine cannot handle all these stonks, so everything is going at it's going at the speed of smell right now. So I guess I'll blab a bit as I try to do this. Or, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to close the DLive thing, and I'm going to do the tradition where when we end this, I am going to send the lemons out. Instead, I'm going to focus on trying to restart this video, and if that doesn't work, which is not a good omen, we will try to do this whole data set programming thing. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, but we're going to try. I might have to reload the entire video. Like I might have to like load in a different video and then load in another video, and then that might get it to work. So I'm going to do ye old lockpicking lawyer just to get something that runs. And now let's load in the OG Stonks video here. It's never a crypto barons unless I destroy the computer somehow. As story of my life. Story of my life. Make sure I find the original video pathway here. Instruction Numerai. I think it's up here. The stuff. The injections. Where is this? And this is also on the external drive, so that also might be why the video is failing. Because right now I have the stonks data on the same thing with all the other streaming local data, and that might be confusing everything. And I know my face is blocked right now. I'm gonna adjust that in a moment. Introduction, how to machine learning. NFTs. Just trying to find the video because I forgot the name of what the video was called again. Signals introduction. Right. This is probably the most riveting part of the live stream. Here we go. It's building. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's see if this works now.
I'm Howard Morgan. I started, but terrible on the tech stocks, and a third person might have the tech stocks just right. So we can create a meta model that incorporates.
You can actually do
capture the intelligence of the crowd that's on the internet, where anyone can participate, and actually apply that intelligence to the stock market. And it's the first time anyone's ever been able to do it like he did it.
In the past decade or so, one of the discoveries in machine learning is the power of combining lots of different models.
If you have a bunch of models, you can actually do sort of like a layer of machine learning on top of that where you combine them in a really smart way, right? So if like a guy over here sort of learns something that's useful and a guy over here learns something different that's also useful, like Richard can then go combine them and make it more useful than like either of the two parts.
For example, we may find one model is actually terrific at predicting the utility stocks, but terrible at predicting what's going to happen with the other stocks. And someone else may have the bank stocks just right, but terrible on the tech stocks, and a third person might have the tech stocks just right. So we can create a meta model that incorporates the working parts of each of those submodels.
The idea of crowdsourcing modeling existed before Numerai did, and the idea of using models to predict.
So yeah, I don't know if it's the rip or if it's what I'm thinking, which is that the video is in the same hard drive as all the stonks, that the video is not loading properly. So I apologize for not going through that entire video. What we're going to do instead is two fun things. We are going to look at all the stonks data, and then we are going to look at, we're going to try to pip install this stuff and then try to get this to run. And we'll see what the results are. Then at the end, I'm going to delete everything. And then we're going to go in and we're going to, if you're on Twitch, we're going to raid. If we're on D Live, you're going to get the lemons. So don't worry about, I've tried to do the lemons before. We're not going beyond 11 p.m. And please, if you can, because of all the suffering, we haven't even got to the code yet and I'm suffering. Go download everything to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. We're trying to, again, raise $600 by January 1st by the end of the year. So January 2022. I don't even know what year it is anymore. To various pediatrics hospital and children's centers across the United States who are being hammered and underfunded and understaffed before COVID, never mind during this, especially with Omicron, the new Decepticon that's killing everyone, going out there. We're just thought we'd donate money to sick kids. And right now we are literally $31 away from halfway to our goal. And literally lots of donations, like $20, $50, $100, absolutely amazing to donate. But if you literally only have $1 or $3 or $5, big effing deal. That will go towards this. It'll go directly through Tiltify or reputable third-party charity company. We don't deal with the distribution of the charity money. We're not a pump and dump scheme. And even if we don't make our $600 goal, all the money that's currently donated, including Feel One Dead, $69, nice, that he did 2 streams ago, will go to these sick kids all across the United States and Canada. So even though it's already in chat, I'm posting the donation link again, and now we're going to try to do all this terrible stonks data. So I have it here. Let's see if we can open something so we can look at this. I'm trying to figure out which. Okay, so folders, and let's see here. Well, this is interesting. I used to have been able to see folders. I don't think. That's fascinating. Oh, there it is. Okay, hang on. Let's resize this window. It just took a while because, again, this is like all the stonks, all the Aufusschläger stonks right here. And I'll see if I'll see what I can do in real life. And let's see if we can make this bigger, because that's what she said. Let's see, we're going to view extra large icons. So we have a lot of stuff in here, and I'm pretty sure this is the really big file. 366 megabytes. Because there's no folder in here. This is just all the different stuff. So yeah, let's see. README, which is its own code source file. We have the features JSON. Let's see, what's this data set? I'm going to delete all of these folders at the end of this. So let's see, what's the init? That's the configuration settings. So I think what we're going to look at, and we already have the example models maybe. Well, again, we're going to open this. So let's do something hilarious and open up an Excel file here. I've never done this. Hopefully this does not kill the computer. I've opened an Excel file before, but I haven't opened like Excel on this machine, particularly during the live stream. So we are literally going through uncharted territory here. I don't even know if the file is going to properly load. I don't even know if we have Excel on here. Like I can right click. So we do have Excel. It's just probably taking forever to. So, oh wow, okay. So it says the data set is far too large for the Excel grid. If you save the workbook, you'll lose the data that was loaded. I click OK. This is a lot of numbers. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. I'm going to try to switch over to the Excel sheet. It doesn't even properly load. Okay, see what we're going to do? I'm going to go back to the folders, and we're actually going to a display capture to hopefully show you what we mean here. So that everything's going to look weird for a bit. I actually have to turn off the folders in order to properly see this. So there we go. That's the infinity. And this is the data set here. I'm going to see, let's see, layout, view. I'm going to just magnify this by a lot. Probably a little bit better, but yeah. You see how tiny, you see how thin this scroll bar is, but how super tiny this is? So this is all the stonks. We just have A and B columns and just all the stonks, and it's so much stonks that the Excel sheet actually lags. I'm definitely deleting it after this. So that's all of that going on. Let's turn back on folders. I'm going to exit out of this before my computer dies further. And let's see, what else can we look at here? Let's think. I think that's really all I wanted to do was see the utilities here, like gas and electric and Python. So we're going to go back to, we're actually going to load up. So we're not doing terminal. We are actually going to attempt to load up PowerShell. All right, so I do have to, because we do have the bar above. I am gonna right now. If N Commander is watching, he's squirming. So I am gonna shrink this just a little bit, just because of the donation bar above, which would be great to see that number evolve. So I'm gonna attempt to install and download 2 things and hope nothing dies. The first thing we're gonna install and download, because it's pip, it should work, is we are installing the Numerai API. So this will automatically upload data from the Numerai machine learning competition. I don't know if that just re-downloads the data again, but we're going to just see what happens when I hit enter. So we've done pip install with an upgrade on a fire, the Numerai API. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do this, and actually, let me double check something. Purple Python, some actions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I actually have to git clone this. So let's go into here, and we're going to get the URL for the .git. So we're going to git clone, clone, and then we're going to copy that URL. And that should move everything in there. And then let's see if this command works. Numerai API. So now we're in there. We can see all of that in there. Again, I apologize. I wish I could make. It's like what I say to all of my sexual companions. I really wish that I could make this bigger. Maybe if I make it full screen, will it change anything? We're gonna find out. Oh, it did. Holy crap. Did I just break it? I think I just broke it. Let's try that again. Okay. So I'm gonna resize this, but that might be better. Slightly at least, or not. No, I made everything smaller. Crap. Because I'm trying to like make it visually bigger, you know, like how she likes it, but it's PowerShell, so I don't think I'm gonna get that, and I probably don't know the weird Windows secret sauce commands in order to properly make this more legible. So again, I apologize for how this looks. Oh, I see size here. Let me just look. More copy paste defaults properties. Sorry. Cursor size do anything? Nope. Command history, number of buffers, font. Here we go. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm sorry about this. I'm just going to try different font sizes, which actually increases the window, so I'm going to have to keep shrinking it and moving it. That seems to be what the problem is. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, I probably should have did this before the stream, but I'm stupid. So just want to see if you keep increasing the font sizes, the window keeps getting bigger. Let's see if I can. Okay, that should be a lot more legible. Yeah, as our good DCG 201 member and longtime hacker alumni says, accessibility, damn it. So okay, so that's actually readable. All right, so again, we get cloned in this. We're now in here. We can see all the proper files. And now we might break the computer we're going to install this by using pip. So we're going to do, I'm going to type this, pip install. We're going to add an upgrade modifier, so we'll upgrade it after installs. Numerai API, which should be in here. I might have to actually run the setup Python, but let's find out. So it's downloading all the Python scripts right now. Installing. Could not find a certain script. Oh, need to upgrade Python. So, check. You know, I'm gonna drive myself crazy, and I'm just gonna do what it's telling me to do. I'm just gonna do what it tells me to do. I'm just gonna copy pasta this command. Okay. I'm gonna copy pasta. I might have to type it. I'm gonna fucking type it. I'm like the worst. I told you I'm like the worst programmer in the universe. Let's see if this works. All right, fine. Fine. So we're not going to get this running. And I forgot how you go back in Windows PowerShell. So I'm just going to close and open a new PowerShell window. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to do the example scripts. And again, if that doesn't work, then that's going to be the end of the episode. So we're back here now. And I'm not going to do, I'm not going to type this in, so I'm going to copy pasta, but I will go through what the command is. So what we're doing is, the first thing is we're going to upgrade pip, which is something I didn't know about that command before. So we might revisit the API later. And then we're going to install, oh, sorry, first I have to git clone this. I'm dumb as hell. First, actually, just independently, let's just do this, just see if anything happens. No, I have to, can't use pip to upgrade pip. This totally sounds like pip, by the way. This is classic fucking pip. So the first thing we're going to do is copy pasta the example scripts. Huh? Oh, I'm dumb. Git clone. No. This URL. So we're going to do all of this, and then we'll do the command. This is the part you're all looking for. So I'm going to cd into example scripts, and we are now in here. And so now we're going to do the command, which is pip install. We're going to upgrade it, and then we're going to upgrade pip, and then, which I might skip that step. Oh, that's probably why that didn't work. So let's go before the double and, because it might just be pip's broken too. Yeah, I can't use pip to upgrade pip. Actually, here's an idea. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to install new pip on Windows. Hopefully I don't need to reinstall. Hopefully I don't have to restart the computer for this. So let's find out. Let's see if pip's not installed. Confirm that Python's installed. Alright. Alright, I'm going to try this weird, obscure command. Upgrade. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Python command. We're going to do Python -m pip install upgrade pip. That might work. All right. Troubleshooting live, yay. This is why I wanted this on a separate computer. Let's see. All right. You know what it actually is? I mean, it should work in PowerShell. I'm actually going to go in the command prompt. You're not going to see this part. Not install. Oh, I think it's a permission thing. All right, it's running. Installed. Okay, so it should be upgraded. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to close, and we're going to third times the charm this Windows PowerShell window, just to make sure that we have a full fresh start example scripts. So we're in here now. And now let's try, because if it does work, then we'll use, then we'll go back to the API. So this should just check for upgrade pip, and then this will install the requirements. Nope. Line character. Oh, okay. I have to do this individually then. Doesn't understand what and is. That's a Linux thing. All right, so we got through that. See, now pip is working properly. And now we're going to install the requirements from the txt file. See if this works. Downloading, I'm just going to do all the prerequisites, and then we're going to launch example model.py. Now, here's my thing. I don't know if it's either A, going to re-download the current information and nearly brick the computer, or if this has to be in the same folder as the data we extrapolated. We're going to find that. It says, could not install package to OS error. Oh, okay, shit. There's not a lot of space left. I see what's going on. Okay. All right, I have to... All right. So, they designed this for Linux, and two, they designed this for computers with a lot of memory in them. That's what's happened here. So what I need to figure out, let's see here. Get over here. I just want to see if I can. I would actually have to go to that directory. So, because the issue here is that I download, basically has no space. The example code, I think I'd have to put in the ODD bay and get cloned into that. And then then that means I have to delete the existing data. I want to see if I can even do that. Because again, we might all have to do this. Is why I want this to be a separate computer, to be honest. All right, so we're going to CD. Let's see. Could not find path. Oh, crap. Hold on. Let me, because it's been a while since I've used PowerShell, so I have to, it's just a PowerShell command. Because I forgot the command in order to do this. I'm just refreshing on PowerShell commands. Copying files or folders, creating files or folders, moving all of them, mapping them. This is all useless information. Managing current location. Let's find this. PowerShell, saving, recalling. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do here, hopefully it doesn't kill me, is, let's see, I'm going to have to set my location. So, let's find the path here. So what we're going to end up doing is, we'll be over here. I'm going to do set location path, and then put the path in. Okay, now we're here. All right, so what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to go in and basically delete almost every single thing to do in here, except for that, that, and that. Let me just double check. And the to do. All this other crap, I can delete. I'm going to delete it. Alright. That's all that should be left. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create a new folder in this. And just call it Numerai. Alright. So now we're going to list and then cd Numerai. Now we're going to do all this stuff. And hopefully we won't run out of memory for this. So we're not going to download the current data set because I think that already does it for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to git clone the example script again. So git clone that URL. So we're now going to clone directly into the Numerai folder. Oh, this works. Hang on a second. Perfect. Now everything's more tidy, so we're actually going to cd into example scripts. All the example scripts are there. And now we're going to install the requirements. So that is, we're going to do pip install and then the R for requirements.txt. So that's going to install the requirements in this folder. And again, there shouldn't be, I've deleted all the big data stuff. So hopefully we won't run out of space for this. Because that would be tragic. Absolutely tragic. I'll double check something here. Nothing in there. Perfect. Perfect. Everything's just in documents. All right. All right, so let's see. Cannot find another file. All right, so regardless, we're now going to run the example model. Here, actually, let me show that we have all the requirements in here now. And now we're going to use Python to run the example model, and hold on to your butts. What happened here? Check back E line 4 module. Pandas. What's going on, pandas? All right, let's just do a precaution and update pip. Just to make sure we're not going crazy. And then we're going to run the Python stuff. And it should make a validation prediction CSV, which will allow us to update to the tournament. So let's see. Why do we have a Python error now? No module named pandas. Everything here though. This is the example scripts. Let me run the requirement script again, just to make sure I'm not going completely insane. Because I hope it's not that error at the end, because we didn't have that before. Might be a space issue. Nah, no space left. Let's try running it anyhow. Yeah, this is so big that I can't run it. This is exactly why I wanted it on a machine that has absolutely no space. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to run the example scripts because they're too fat. But what I will do is I guess I'll wrap up this episode. So what we learned, let's go back into browser mode here, is we learned about, let's go back in time. Close PowerShell, I don't want to look at you. Where are you? Dun, 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 what the spider thing does. Browser. We learned about Numerai. And it's one of the most hacker AF things that you could possibly learn. And apparently the leaderboards has changed. Now there are 2 anime girls and a mysterious person named Only Latest who's at the top. And the monthly return stake has gone down. So that's just me being stupid. And Numerai is this crazy AI tournament where you basically get to code and create AI bots, what we tried to do, but we failed because we literally ran out of memory for this, which is why we will make this up in the January episode on January 8th of next year. But you create an AI bot using a ridiculously large file that is an extrapolated data from the current snapshot stock market every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That then they go out and you battle all the results from these AI bots coded in Python and sometimes R. And then that stakes in a cryptocurrency that you can earn that you can exchange for fiat currency. Basically, it's like a AI tournament robot game in cyberspace for stock market and cryptocurrencies. It's super hacker AF. I just wish I had more space in order to run it. We learned that its components. Ah, jeez. Freaking everything complaining about me that I'm running out of space. So anyhow, we learned that the components for this is we have erasure, which is its staking method, which allows, without using a middleman, to reward or punish on cryptocurrencies. It does the, it makes this all transparent by Erasure Bay. And Numerai uses Numerai signals, which takes your bot's data and puts it as a signal, which allows it to compare different bots in order to the different bots methodology and results in order to figure out, because not only do they want bots that have results, but also bots that are unique so that people aren't just copy pasting and gaming the entire game system. The method that it uses is a thing called idiosyncratic alphas, which basically targets specificality and uniqueness in addition to results, and that's what Numerai is looking for. It's also a good way to program the bots. And finally, it is using a, where did I put it? I put it somewhere in here. At least I had it somewhere in here. But it's using a methodology that I can't remember right now, called like a meta world methodology, which again, it really ties the room together, ties this whole system together in order to play this tournament game. And again, we tried to run the example scripts, but unfortunately none of them worked because, as the meme that was sent to us by one of our watchers, we are in a cyberpunk dystopia. And before I go, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, not that was me looking up dumb stuff. If you are interested in how hackers use AI outside of Numerai and cryptocurrency, I highly check out one of our own that happens at DEF CON every year now, called the AI Village at DEF CON. They normally do this in person. During safe mode, it was online. They also had a hybrid online and in person, or I think maybe it was all in person at DEF CON last year. I'm pretty sure they're going to return back in some form physically and have a virtual presence. But as they say here, the AI Vision is a community of hackers and data scientists working together to educate the world on the use and abuse of artificial intelligence and security and privacy. And they're not sponsored by any one company. They're just here for the community. They have a public Discord. They're on Twitter. When they do talks and stuff at DEF CON, they stream them on Twitch and YouTube. So I definitely highly recommend. Let's see if I can get anything from here. Ooh, I'm getting a weird cramp. Oh boy. Oh, uncomfortable cramps. But yeah, they had their own streaming schedule and stuff. And if you search the AI Village on DEF CON, or if you go to DEF CON's own YouTube page and search for the AI Village, what's that called? Playlist, you can find all their previous talks here, and they talked about many different things. They had their own workshops, algorithmic ethic bug bounty contest. Let's see here. Identify Excel 4.0 macro strains using anomaly detection. There's just all sorts of stuff. So if you want to take the stuff that you learned from my failures today and my explanations and bring this out into other fields, particularly when it comes to security with artificial intelligence and data sets, I highly recommend checking out the AI Village, and I posted the link in chat. And to remind also again, we are trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which distribute money that are donated, such as ours, which we're going to finish our donations on January 1st, 2022, to various children's hospitals and pediatric wings of hospitals all across the United States and Canada, who are already understaffed, underfunded, underpaid, and under thumb of everyone before the COVID-19 pandemic. And not only are they even worse off during the pandemic and the fact that Americans don't have health insurance because we suck, but also now we have new strains to deal with of COVID-19, including the dreaded Omicron, which, by the way, interesting fact, even though everyone's calling South America, it actually originates in New Zealand and a bunch of other countries. So no one exactly knows which country it came from. It's just South Africa has a really good health system, so they were able to isolate and identify the cases and do way better processing than we do, because South Africans understand that if you're going to win a firefight, you should all wear bulletproof vests. But basically, I just posted a link in chat. We also have that QR code on the screen, as well as the widget below for the Tiltify donation portal. Right now, Fee One Dead is at $69 as a top donation. Nice, but just even $1 or $3 or $5, whether we're streaming or not, will go a long way. We're almost halfway to our goal, like about $31 from being $300 of the $600 goal. And note that not only is the money not touched by us, it's being handled through Tiltify, which is an entirely awesome third party that works with charities. But even if we don't make the $600 by the end of New Year's, all the money that's donated is still going to go to all of these children's hospitals and facilities across the United States and Canada to help sick kids. So we just think it's a good thing all around. While I struggle with trying to deal with space issues, dealing with Numerai's big chungus data set that I attempted to download, which is why I kept saying that I needed another computer attached to this computer in order to do this, so that way that computer can die and I don't have to unfuck the streaming computer. But anyhow, that was our entire live stream. Thank you for watching Crypto Barons. I know this was a weird thing. That let me switch back to face. I know today was kind of a little crazy, and it was very tech and math and programming terminology intensive. We talked a bit about math, philosophy, science, finances, programming, everything. As my hair got even weirder during the stream, as I'm like sweating bullets doing all this. But even though I already knew some of this stuff with data science and artificial intelligences, I learned a lot with you all. I also learned what not to do with space issues on a computer. If you want to see the good results of this, because it's not crypto barons unless something screws up, I'm going to solve this issue offline. I already know the solution, which is to do it on a more powerful other computer, which is why when Cell comes back, I'm going to be like, make the other computer, Cell, computer, and computer, pseudo computer. But I'm going to make him do that. And basically in January, I can tell you our first episode, January 8th of 2022, we're going to be doing what's essentially a makeup episode where all the stuff that can get to work, from doing Numerai, because I have the account, to finally mixing the coding results of the NFTs, to what were some others? We had a bunch of different things that didn't work out on past episodes. We're going to tackle them all again, and this time they should work, because offline during the stream, I then know what I'm doing. That was it for the show. Thank you all for watching Crypto Barons tonight. Our next episode, well, I'll put it this way. You are going to see me again on Master of Unlocking on December 5th, doing a subject. Hopefully I'll be talking to the people at Lock Camp. No guarantee, but that should be a cool episode. So December 5th is when you'll probably see my face again. The next Crypto Barons, because we do the second and fourth Saturday of every month. So you will see my face again on December 11th and December 25th. And I have a couple of ideas for December 11th, but I still need to send a couple of messages to confirm it. If everything goes correctly, we should be covering one episode should be kind of like this, where it's going to be a lot of tech and science and even physical stuff that comes in the mail. On the other episode, because I don't know which days they're going to be, I hope to go into a bit more of sociology and ethics and laws and talk about a cryptocurrency that has caused major discussion. Most of it is really bad, about privacy, security, and ethical ownership of human bodies. So cross your fingers that those will be the two topics before the end of the new year. But I will see you again on crypto. I'll see you again in face on the 5th for my other show. I will see you for the next Crypto Barons on December 11th. That's the second Saturday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are on DLive, stay tuned. We're going to drop the lemons before the stream ends. If you're on Twitch, we're going to find someone and we're going to raid their stream. So stick along, and I'm going to do the outro music. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again. Hack the planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember, that it's really hard to do data science on a live stream randomly, because you might clog up your computer with data, and two, just because something looks like a boring Microsoft document on the outside, that does not mean that when you play their promo videos that they are not ridiculous to the point of self-parody, cyberpunk as fuck. Peace out, everyone. Enjoy the music. Say hi to whoever you rate on Twitch, and I hope you enjoy those lemons on DLive. Peace, everybody.